Hi y'all, good morning. At least I hope it's a good morning wherever you're at. If you come fishing with me today, we're gonna try our best to have a good time because we're going after catfish today. Blues, and keep your fingers crossed, hopefully we're gonna bust a big flathead out here. I got us some cut bait, I got us some live bait. We got anything these fish could possibly want. So I'm getting ready to drop some baits down now. I'll show you my baits, my rigs, explain to you where I'm at, and we're gonna get after it today, man. So let me go ahead and get y'all here in the chest, and let's get to it. Daylight is burning, although we ain't gonna see much of it. It is super cloudy out here right now, so no sunrise for us this morning, although technically the sun is already up. We are getting a little bit later start out here this morning. I purposely waited a little later because of the conditions. I wasn't sure what we were going to be experiencing out here today. So I wanted to have a little bit of daylight so I could see what was going on when I got here to the launch and what kind of conditions we were going to have. So anyway, let me tell you about this first. This is our first bait going down. That's a skipjack head on a Carolina rig. You got an 8-ounce egg sinker, a swivel, 80-pound monofilament, our hook and bait, obviously. That's a 10-aught size circle hook, and then a Catfish Sumo bait stalker fly just a few inches below the bait. So I'll kind of get our baits on here. I'll show you what we're doing as far as that goes, and then I'll kind of explain what's happened here and the conditions that we're going to be facing today. I have no idea what to expect coming out here. It's one of those situations where I feel like we could potentially have an awesome day of fishing, or today could be just a total bust. Now, if you're seeing this, that's a pretty good sign that at least something went right for us. I don't know what. Maybe we got a bunch of fish. Maybe we got some quality fish. I don't know at this point in time, obviously. But if you're seeing this, well, you know something that I don't know at the present time, as in something went right. So here's our next rig. Same as the last one with the exception of the bait, and that is a skipjack chunk with the gut pocket intact. We're going to do a head, 2 chunks, one with the gut pocket, one without, and then we're going to try put a live bait on, assuming the live baits are still alive, which if they are, that's going to be a miracle in itself because they have been in that bucket a long time, folks, a long time, which I'll get into that here in a minute too. This last rig here going down is going to be that chunk with the gut pocket cut out. And once we get these on here, I will take my camera, I'll show you on the map card how we're setting up, kind of talk about why I want to fish here. And yeah, just weird, very weird circumstances going on today. I honestly don't know what to expect. One good thing that we do have in our favor this morning is current flow, although depending on where you live in East Tennessee right now, that current flow probably isn't a good thing. But for us out here this morning, for what we need it for, I think it's going to help our cause tremendously because this area I'm fishing usually doesn't have any flow. Usually we're sitting out here in slack water. So the fact that we've got a little water movement will help disperse our scent and help fish lock in on it that's downstream. So let's see if our live baits are still alive. I checked them last night and by gosh, they were. So I'll be damned. I'll be damned, folks. Let me grab one of these things here. These are goldfish. I used them on my last video for regular viewers, but what you don't know is that video was filmed 6 days ago, I think now. I've been knocked out of fishing for several days. These things have remained in a 5-gallon bucket. I have not changed the water, nothing. But as you can see, that thing right there, buddy, he's still alive. So we're gonna try to feed him to something today. The last time we used these goldfish, they didn't do worth a diddly doo-doo for us. But we'll see if this round is any better. I just knew them things was gonna be dead. They just been sitting in that bucket there on my back porch for almost a week now. I'm pretty sure it's been 5 or 6 days for sure. So we've got at least one more in there if we need him. So let me get the kayak cleaned up here. Let me get house clean this cutting board off. I know I can't get y'all to do it. And then I'm gonna take this map card, show you where we're set up, kind of explain what's going on around here for those of you new to my channel or ain't watched the news lately. And then we're gonna try to catch them today. So here on the map card, hopefully you can see this, we are kind of down in a little depression here, a little hole, right in front of a creek channel. The old original creek bed would have dumped out here into the Tennessee River channel, right? This out here was the old river channel. Once they built the dams, the water level raised up. It all looks like it's wide open out here, but used to, where this flat is up here to our left now, would have been land. And that old creek, which is right there, would have initially dumped out here. So we're off the bottom edge, kind of down in this hole. It's 62.9 feet here where we're at currently. Water level, and that may change today, honestly, while we're out here. The water level has been fluctuating a lot here in East Tennessee. I don't know what point you're watching this video. I'm filming it on September 30th. We just had the last few days the remnants of that hurricane come through that just caused catastrophic flooding. Thankfully not in my area, but just east of us, like 2 hours east of us, up in the mountains, entire towns really just washed away. Catastrophic, just horrible, horrible flooding. And so even though we didn't get the flooding here in my area, thankfully, we did get quite a bit of rain. Not flooding rain, but you know, still a lot. It rained, we had rain and high winds for several days. And the water that did flood east of us in the mountains, water runs downhill, right? And so that water goes into the French Broad, which dumps into the Tennessee River. And so because of that, the water level, they got all the spill gates open at the dams along the Tennessee River. They're trying to work that water through. And so water level's been all over the place the last few days. And so I waited till it was daylight out here this morning to come out because I wanted to see what I was dealing with. You know, being in kayak, I got to be a little bit more cautious. And so a lot of debris, not so much out here, but there was around the boat launch up there, lots of logs, limbs, stuff like that. We may see some of that moving downriver today potentially, but there actually is flow through here today. And this is something we don't normally have when I fish. I'm on Fort Loudon Reservoir today. Typically, you get up through here, even when they're spilling down at the dam, you've got minimal to no noticeable water movement. Today it's noticeable. And so actually you can maybe see my line there potentially. It's kind of at an angle back a little bit. So we've got significant flow, which is going to help disperse our scent and get it moving downstream there. But as far as where we should fish today, couple schools of thought. And here's what I'm gonna do. Y'all don't want to look at my face the whole time. I'm gonna put y'all in the chest. I'm bringing y'all with me unedited today, raw and uncut. We out here. Y'all gonna see it all this morning. I'm gonna fish a few hours, and so you're gonna see it all, good, bad, ugly. But there's a couple schools of thought when it comes to choosing a spot to go catfishing on in these conditions. The old train of thought is when the water level rises, you should fish shallow. Fish are going to move up. When the water level falls, you should fish deeper because fish are going to move out. That's kind of old, unwritten, unspoken rules. Maybe they are written somewhere, hell, I don't know. But that's just kind of what you hear as a catfisherman, right? Well, you come out here this morning And we kind of got both conditions going on in a sense, because water level has been up the last few days. They've been working on that water through. Water level has been extremely high for this area. Well, the water level out here right now is still up above normal. However, it is falling now. I can tell, y'all won't be able to see this far away, but I can see where the water line recently was on the bridge columns over there, and it has started to recede a little bit now. It's down a foot or so, maybe a little more, but it's still up higher than normal. So you can make an argument that fish are gonna be up and shallow. You can make an argument maybe they're pulling off. What I did coming out here, I said I'm gonna let kind of the fish tell me where I should set up. I did not run back up in the shallows to see what was going on, but when I got out here toward the channel, I saw some shad flipping, I saw some bait, I saw, there was one coming down through here, I saw one pod of skipjack jumping out in the main channel. And I had my graph on, and when I first got down here, I looked here, 60 feet of water, kind of off the bottom edge of that drop. Now I saw a few fish here and there. They moved up to the top of that drop, kind of started working back toward that creek a little bit, see what was going on. And I wasn't really seeing anything. And I said, okay, well, if I've seen some bait out here, kind of over the deeper water in the channel, flipping around, and then I've seen some, what I assume is either catfish or carp, something larger marks there out here in this area, well, this is probably where we should set up. And so that's why I've chosen where I have. Now, with that said, I don't care what the conditions are. There's never a bad time to fish the bottom of a drop in front of a creek mouth, ever. That's 7 days a week, 365. You've always gonna have a chance because fish move in and out of these creeks. And when you're fishing, my regular viewers, you know this, I like fishing deep water. I'm more comfortable on deep structure than I am in the shallows. I prefer, I know what I want to say here, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Big fish visit the shallows, but they spend most of their lives living in the deeper water, on the deeper structure, right? I want to spend most of my fishing time where fish live, not where they visit. And so, will that cost me good bites? Sometimes, absolutely. There are times, undoubtedly this happens, where I'm out fishing deep structure somewhere. Let's take today. Let's say we're out here and maybe we're not getting bit today, we're not having a good morning, and I go home today and think, man, boy, fishing was terrible today. Maybe it was. Or it could be just the opposite. It's possible the fishing could be on fire. Maybe they're up in the shallows, they're feeding just super heavy, and we're just in the wrong place. We're missing the bite. That undoubtedly happens. There has to be days throughout the year where I'm just fishing deep, not getting bit, blame it on a bad bite, but really the bite was on like Donkey Kong. It happens. It has to. Statistically speaking, it has to. But you can't be all places at once. And I want to spend my time where I feel like just percentage play is going to give me the best chance to succeed the most number of times throughout the year. I know I'm going to have bad days. I know I'm going to have bad trips. I'm going to have skunk trips. Those are all factored in throughout the year. But doing what I do and how I do it, I know over the long run, while it may not pay off on any individual day, over the long run, we're going to have success. And so a morning like we're having out here right now, I'm not in a tournament. I'm not competing with anybody. There's no money on the line, really. I'm going to do what I want to do. You know, I'm not going to be, if it was a tournament situation and we had to catch fish today, like we have a time period, we got to get after it, like we're either going to catch fish or we're going to lose. Well, in that situation, there was a fish jumping up to our left. In that situation, well, obviously we're going to have to check all the boxes out here. We're going to have to cover our bases. We're going to have to figure out what's going on. But we're not in that situation today. What we're able to do right now is just kick back, relax, and see what happens. See if some fish work either in or out of this creek this morning while we're out here. And if they do, well, we're in position to take advantage of them. We're set up here in such a way that fish are going to have to swim. If they come in or out of this creek, they're going to come through our baits. If they work up and down the ledge here, just swimming along the contours, along that break line, along the bottom edge of that drop, they're going to come through our baits. And fortunately, today, with us having some current flow, if they're downstream of us, they're going to hopefully pick up on our scent and be able to lock in our baits and come find them a little bit more easily. So current flow really helps your cause, and that's something we just don't normally have out here. Now, I hate that we've got this current flow because of just terrible flooding. I mean, the folks, I mean, some of you, I don't know, people watch these videos from all over the world, so I don't know how much you've seen of this, but man, when that hurricane, it come through, it hit Florida. Oh, we done got hit right here. Something just hit our head bait. But that hurricane, it hit Florida and moved north, and it just stayed over the southeast for a few days, dumping just a ton of rain. And unfortunately, some of those dams in those towns northeast of us, or east of us, really, I don't even guess it's northeast, but just east of us in the Tri-Cities part of East Tennessee and over into western North Carolina, they just got pounded with a ton of rain. Some of the dams gave way, and entire towns just got instantly flooded. As of me filming this, again, I'm filming this September 30th, they still don't know how many people's died in these floods. There's still a bunch of people missing, which, you know, who knows, the water's still so high up there. They're still dealing with all the flood conditions. They haven't been able to even, they're still trying to rescue people at this point that are trapped in their houses. They haven't even been able to begin searching for any of the missing people or bodies or anything. So who knows what the death toll will end up being, but it's just catastrophic. It's terrible to see anybody go through that. You watch the news, and I'm not big on the news. I don't trust the media these days, and I don't like their agendas and stuff. But when there's a natural disaster going on, obviously you tune in, and of course you see videos on social media and stuff, not just from, there's another splash right there. You see the videos that aren't just from media sources, but also people filming from their homes and the conditions that they're going through. And it's just, you see it, and it's honestly, it's hard to believe it's real just looking at it. You know, it seems like something straight out of a horror movie. Look right here. Oh, buddy, that's a nice takedown. That's a nice takedown. That's on the head. Well, we're just a few minutes in here. We got fish number one, man. Boy, that's a good sign right there, man. On the head bait too. Nailed that bait. Solid takedown. That, I like that, man. I like that. That's how I wanted to start out today. He got my other line over there. I'll allow it. Can't stop it. He ain't that good a fish though. Considering the takedown, that ain't that good a fish. He's a fun sizer, but when you get hit like that and you just have that slow takedown, I always just assume that's gonna be one of them old golly whoppers. But this one, he'll get to be a golly whopper size someday. He ain't there yet. He is gonna get the skunk out though, which is always welcome. Some days the skunk don't leave you. It's gone today. Hopefully he's gonna come right out of this other line right there. I don't think he's too wrapped up in it. No, hey. Calm your fish down here, folks. Lord Almighty, get control of this thing. Hell, boy, he's wrapped up in it now. Look at that. Goodness gracious, fish. You was going to be easily gotten out of that line, and then you had to go and do that. He's laughing at us too down there. You hear him? Let me see what you've done to yourself here. I gotta be careful with this other line. We go to take this hook out, we liable to run that other line through the hole where the hook is. Then we're really gonna have problems. Boy, if they all this ornery today. Let me give myself some slack on this maybe. Oh, I just backlashed that too when I hit the spool. Boy, fish, you've caused all kinds of problems here right off the bat. Now he won't open his mouth at all. There we go, Lord. Watch him go crazy now with all that tension's released. There he goes, I knew it, I knew it. Fish, you was gonna get some front camera time because you big enough. Normally I'd give you front camera time, but it ain't happening today. Not with you acting like this. That don't get you front camera time. We don't reward bad behavior. Now he's fun size. He's gone's what he is. Y'all done a lousy job handling that fish. If y'all knew what the hell you was doing, you'd have had him out of here. We'd done had that bait back down by now. I can't find a fishing partner worth a diddly do. You know it? I can't ever get anybody to come out here that'll actually help me on these trips. I'm gonna sort this mess out here and we'll probably put that same head bait back on. It ain't been down there but just a few minutes, so that's encouraging to get bit that quick. I'd be more encouraged if y'all didn't have all this line tangled up here. Lord help us. He was going to come right out of it, you know it? He was. And then he rolled and acted a fool and got us all messed up right there. Got it knotted up, it looks like it, around the fly. I don't even know what's going on. He literally did. He did like a daggone Boy Scout knot on there, man. I ought to have that fish tie up my rigs. You know what we may end up doing right here, make life easier? We may just snip this fly. That's what we're gonna do. Somebody's shooting off fireworks over here. What the hell's going on? 7:30 in the morning, somebody's out here shooting off fireworks. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna snip that fly off there. And voila, problem solved. Now let's snip our line here. Now we just gotta have a normal, apparently we just gonna have a normal Carolina rig here. on this headbait rod the rest of the day. Problem solved, folks. See, I get stuff done. I'm a problem solver. That's what they call me. They call me a lot of things, but problem solver, my middle name. Now, after all that, let's get this one back down. I'll fix my backlash here on the other one. There's another fish right there on the screen. I was seeing some marks when I come out. I wasn't seeing nothing at the top. I was seeing them along the bottom there, so we'll hopefully have some more work through. Hopefully these are cats that we're seeing, I hope. Okay, there's our backlash solved. Put that back up. All right. Well, we got our first fish. We got our first tangle. All's well in the world. Got some grass and debris right there. I saw a bunch of debris up there at the launch, but so far we're good down through here. The current's moving slowly, so if we did see something coming, wouldn't be like it'd be dangerous for us. We'd be able to get out of the way, of course, but nevertheless, got our first fish, man. But yeah, man, the flooding, it's horrible to see. I mean, if you haven't watched some of the videos, maybe you live in another country or something. So I've got quite a large international audience these days. Check out the videos online. It's horrible. It's horrible what happened to those people, and unfortunately, it's not going to be an easy fix. A lot of the roads and bridges into and out of their towns were washed away as well. And that's not quick fixes. Part of the interstate between Tennessee and North Carolina, one of the lanes, I think the eastbound lane, I think, a big section of it washed down into the river. And so, I mean, that's a long-term project to be able to fix that. And it's going to disrupt travel for a long time. And, you know, unfortunately, it's going to disrupt the people that are going through this crisis. It's going to disrupt them getting supplies in a timely manner. So I hate it for them. I just, you know, you hate to have anything like that. You hate to see it anywhere, but especially this close to home, places that you've traveled to and drove through and visited, to just be hit like that. I mean, I did a video for my channel members a couple days ago, and just at my house there, just walking around and giving them an update on everything. And I was telling them, like, it's when you see stuff like this happen, I personally find it to be very, very humbling. I think it's kind of a reminder that us humans, we're not in control of our environment at all. We think we are. Humans, we build everything. We build these cities and build dams on the rivers. And this fish is going to build himself a breakfast here. I guess that's that live bait. Has something got our goldfish? Something's got our goldfish. I'm going to catch a fish on the goldfish. I'll be doggone. The last trip out, we didn't get a single fish on the goldfish. Oh no, did he just come free? No, he's still on there. He ain't gonna be very big, but you know what? That's my first fish on the goldfish. Ryan Bort's got these goldfish there last week, and him and I fished together. We didn't do any good. I brought them with me my next trip out. Didn't do any good. And somehow or another, them things have survived in that bucket the last few days. And we just got our first fish on a goldfish. This thing here ain't worth catching, I don't necessarily believe. I'd rather left that goldfish down there for something bigger. And he's mad at me for saying that too. He can't, this fish can't handle the truth apparently. Yeah, Mr. Blue, I'd like to have caught something bigger on that goldfish. I'll hold you up there though. Show you off to the world, old dinkity-doo-dah. Well, folks, hey, them goldfish got potential after all. Some of you swear by them goldfish. I've been pestered for years to try them out. Never knew where I could get any big goldfish at. Get the little ones at the pet store, but Ryan found a bait shop had big ones. Well, larger than what you get at the pet shop anyway. And so, I know we got at least one left in here. I can get hold of him. So we got two of them in there. Well, how about that? This one here, folks, I want to show you this right here. This is incredible, man. Oh, Lord, I'm splashing. Let me set them down here. I'm splashing water all over myself and probably you too. Did we just get water all over the camera? No, but we got it all over my face. I want you to look at this fish right here. You see that mark right there, folks? This was the goldfish we used on the last trip. He's still alive. I'm gonna go through the same hole in his back. I put him back in the bucket because he was still alive when I reeled him up to leave last week. I put him back in the bucket. He's still alive now. Is that incredible or what? This fish, let me turn him this way. He may be I may make this fish my thumbnail for this video. I may make him I might make this fish a star. Let me hold him out there like that. This fish, man, I almost hate to send him down there. This fish is like a cat. He's got 9 lives. If he don't get eat today, we'll know he's something special. He's the unkillable fish. How about that though? Boy, these things are hardy, man. Most fish, this is a 5-gallon bucket I've got. And again, I did not change the water. I changed the water the last time I fished, which again, 5 or 6 days ago now. When I got back to the launch that day, I changed the water then. Let's put this one back. And I was just hoping they'd survive until I could fish the next day, which I didn't end up getting to do because of the rain moving in. But most fish, I don't care, bluegill, pretty hardy. Yellow bass are hardy. But you leave them in the same bucket, the pH changes, you know, when they're pooping in there and stuff, and like it just never works out. But by gosh, it worked out. And I ain't even done nothing with the. Normally I'll put like there's a bottle in here now. I'll freeze water bottles like this in my freezer. And when I've got bait in a bait bucket, I'll put a water bottle in there frozen, and it kind of cools down the water. You do that during the summer months, or even right now in the fall, water's still 73-degree water temp there. That'll keep preserving them a little longer. These last few days, because I just assumed they were dead, I had the aerator. I've got one of them plug-in, like aquarium type aerators there on my porch. I've had it on, but I just assumed them things were dead, so I hadn't been putting ice buckets in there or ice bottles in there or nothing. And I checked it last night. I was like, I'm going to take these things and pour them out there in the woods, you know, thinking they'd be stinking and rotten in there. And I put that net down there, I'm like, my gosh, there's some of them still alive. So Mind-boggling, man. Those goldfish, I don't know if they'll catch a big catfish or not. Some people swear by them, but they're hardy. You can't kill the daggone thing, so that's +1 in the win column for them, as far as I'm concerned. Man, I can't. The others that we didn't run a hook through, that's one thing, but the fish. I mean, I dropped him in that hole downriver from here that was, I don't know, what was we fishing last week? 60-something feet deep? So you would have thought when I reeled him up at the end of the trip there, the barotrauma alone would have probably killed him. But hell, he's still alive days later after having that hook in the back. That's incredible, man. I should have let that fish go just for what he's been through. No rest for the wary though, buddy. We put him on a hook and send him back down there. We're gonna try to get that thing eat. Cats may have 9 lives, but they eventually die. No cat lives forever. We'll see if that fish does. If he's still alive today, when we're done, I'm gonna set him free. He's earned it. But anyway, I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, I was talking about my channel members video there. I talked about just how humbling it is to me, and this is just my opinion on this, but as humans, we develop these cities and bridges and dams and airplanes where we can fly across the planet in a matter of hours. I mean, you can go wherever you live right now. You can travel to the other side of the world, the other side of planet Earth, within like a day's time. You may have to have some connecting flights, various parts of the world, but your house to the other side of the planet within a day. I mean, 100 years ago, you couldn't make it across your state in a day. Everything was horseback. Now, I mean, it's amazing what we've accomplished as humans. You got Elon trying to fly to Mars, man. It's just, I mean, it's crazy. But yet, no matter what we've accomplished as humans, when Mother Nature gets angry, it can be gone in hours, in a matter of hours, whether it's a hurricane, tornado, earthquake, wildfires, I mean, you name it. Entire towns can be gone in the blink of an eye. And it just, to me, I find it humbling. It kind of just reminds me that we're pretty insignificant on planet Earth, man. We think we're the top species, and maybe we are as far as species on planet Earth. I don't know any other species with the exception of maybe ants. I went on a big long thing about ants back in the summer when I had them at my house, and how their societies work as far as ants goes. They all have their role. It's very structured as far as how ants live, but I mean, humans, most situations on planet Earth, humans are the top species. Now, if you're camping out in the middle of Alaska, you're not top of the food chain with the grizzly bears and whatnot, right? But I mean, most situations, places that we've conquered on planet Earth, humans are the top species. We control our environment most of the time. I'm gonna kick back here and relax on this kayak, folks. I'm gonna get comfortable here. We got a few hours to kill this morning here trying to catch a fish, so while we're between bites, I'm gonna put my feet up and relax. Them geese over there need to relax too. Nobody wants to hear them today. But it's amazing, no matter what we build as humans, Mother Nature can just destroy it in no time. And it'll take, I mean, I promise you, it's going to take a long time to rebuild the interstate over there from Tennessee to North Carolina. It's going to take a long, the interstate will probably be fixed quicker than what some of the roads and the bridges in the individual towns will be fixed, truth be told, because the interstate being kind of a, I think that's like a federal, as some fish splashes behind us, like a federal type thing. So, but still, I mean, it's amazing to me, it's humbling to me every time I see it. And thankfully, I've not had to see it in person. I was thinking about that last night, actually, and I was like, in my lifetime, there's been numerous natural disasters, right? I mean, there's hurricanes every year. But just in my town, where I live, as far as disasters go, really been fortunate. When I was a kid, there was a tornado that went through Lenoir City. This would have been 93, I think. We had the blizzard in 93. I'm pretty sure the tornado was like a month before that. But it went through town and tore up a bunch of buildings and whatnot. It wasn't a, I don't know what category tornado it was. It wasn't like a high level category tornado. It wasn't like a category 4 or 5. It's probably a 0 or a 1. But still, it done a lot of damage. And I remember seeing that as a kid and just remember the fear when it first happened. You know, is your family okay? Is what all's damaged in town, property, stuff like that? Like, you know, the fear that goes with such a thing. But in my lifetime, that's been pretty much it as far as disaster. I mean, there's obviously, again, there's been tons of disasters all over the world, you know, United States even, during my lifetime. But as far as hitting my hometown, as we got something happening up here, I'm trying to kick back and relax, some fish up there on that front rod, trying to get me to, good, he let it go. We didn't want to reel that in. We're trying to relax here, the old fish. But I guess I'm fortunate. Where I live's kind of been spared to this point in my life. If you lived along the coast, I mean, any of the hurricane zones, if you figure the average human lives, what, 70 something these days? I don't know the updated statistics, but it used to be, I think, men 75 and women 78. It's probably changed a little bit, but let's just assume 70 something years old, average person lives. If you live in a high percentage area, let's say you live along the coast, 70 something years, you're probably going to experience a hurricane. If you live in some part of California that's prone to wildfires, 70 something years, you're probably going to experience that situation, right? But where I live, I mean, and we just don't really have the way the land is, and we're so far away from the ocean that hurricanes, by the time they get to us, they're normally dissipated. We might get some wind from it, maybe a little rain, but that's usually all we get. Our climate is such, we don't really have, we had wildfires. A few years back, we had a really dry summer and had some wildfires, but nothing too terrible. I mean, I remember it being real smoky and stuff in my area, but my town where I live didn't experience the fires directly. So we're kind of fortunate from that aspect, but you know, you live long enough, you're going to see some stuff, and this was just a I hate to call it a perfect storm, but it kind of was a perfect storm. And as far as the direction it moved and how it set over East Tennessee and Western North Carolina for as long as it did, dumping that much rain in the mountain areas, it just, for what happened to have happened, it took that storm to do it. And it just sucks. I mean, it sucks that it all went down how it did. I think they got, one of the news reports I'd seen, they'd got like 10 inches of rain in a short period of time. Now, where I live, I think we ended up for the week getting like 3 inches. So quite a bit of rain, but at no point, we weren't getting the monsoon, like the heavy rain. It was like a steady rain at my house for just a few days straight, which honestly, we needed some rain. We didn't need 3 inches all at once. It would have been nice to get 3 inches over the summer, not all in a few days. But I hadn't mowed my yard in a month leading up to this, just because everything's been dead. It's been brown. Like, we just haven't had any rain. And so it all hit at once. And again, I hope those towns get rebuilt quickly. I hope the roads get opened back up so they can get supplies and get everything they need to rebuild their towns in a timely manner. But I got a feeling, man, when it's all said and done here in a week or so and the water level recedes and they're able to locate the missing people, I got a feeling the death toll is going to be pretty significant. It's just, man, human life is fragile. I'm guilty as anybody. You take the individual days for granted. Stuff that shouldn't matter matters to you in the moment. Let's get a stick going by here. There it goes. But in the grand scheme of things, it's just, oh, a goldfish. Something's after the goldfish again. Something's got him. Come on, now that rod holder there. Boy, the luckiest fish alive. I ain't lucky in this moment, folks. I was gonna let him go today. I gave you my word I was gonna do it if he survived the day, but he didn't survive. He didn't survive another 20 minutes down there. This current is helping our calls this morning, man. It's dispersing that scent and it's helping us out here, I feel. We just don't normally have current flow through here. Even when they're moving water at the dam, this high up on the reservoir, you typically just don't have any noticeable flow. But because we got all that water coming down the French Broad out of the mountains, that in conjunction with the water that they're moving, we've got that flow. And when you got flow as a catfisherman, it really helps your calls. Come on, fish. We're gonna put another goldfish on there in a minute. I hope when this fish come up after that goldfish, I hope he knocked him off the hook and he survived. That's what I'm hoping for. Do you think there's any chance of that? Boy, he's got that hook going right through the bottom lip, don't he? I hope that thing survived, man. We're going to pretend he did. He was on like life 3 of his nine lives, so this thing is hooked in a bad way. Right through the bottom lip there. If you ain't careful in this situation, you end up with a hook in you. There we go. Well, another dink there on the goldfish, but it's another bite so far. the 1 rod with a goldfish is outperforming 3 rods with cut bait. Let's get that other one there. I think this is the last one. We're gonna dump that water out of that bucket in a minute and find out. I mean, these goldfish, to survive in that water, to survive being impaled by a 10-aught size hook, I mean, I'm impressed with these things. I gotta admit, folks, I'm fairly impressed with them. Now, I ain't trying to sell you no goldfish, as we got our line wrapped around everything here. They may not even be legal, depending on where you live. Check your local laws and regulations. But I think they've won me over here today. I want to see them catch something bigger than what we've gotten, but I mean, the way these things have lived makes me wonder if I couldn't grow these things myself, you know, get some smaller one. I don't know how long it takes a goldfish. I don't know. I don't think I ever had a goldfish as a kid. We had a fish aquarium when I was real little. I don't remember having a goldfish in it. I don't know how long it takes them to get big. We're gonna dump this out and see if we got any more fish in here. No, that was the last one. Last live bait, folks. Gotta make it count. Good news is, won't have to listen to that aerator anymore. And when we go to lean over and pick up a big fish today, assuming we hook a big one, we won't have to worry about the weight of that bait tank shifting and trying to flip us out of here as we got another limb going down the river here. Let me get out in that line, okay. All right, man. It's encouraging. What is that? 3 fish now in less than an hour? Numbers wise, that's pretty good. When I fish Fort Loudon, again, I'm on Fort Loudon Reservoir. This is the first reservoir of the Tennessee River. And the French Broad River, which is flooded right now, that's where all that water's coming from, it feeds in, and the French Broad and the Holston come together, form the top of the Tennessee River. It flows down to Fort Loudon Dam, then into Watts Bar, Chickamauga, and so forth and so on down through there. All of those spill gates are open. Usually though, if they got the gates open, if they're moving water, we're so far up that them pulling water at the dam doesn't generate any movement here. But when you've got water actively flowing in from the mountains, we do get this flow. And so kind of a situation that we just don't have all the time. The last time that I can think of off the top of my head where we had high water, we'd had a lot of rain, we had high water, and we had some flow through this area that I'm fishing now. I was actually fishing this spot. I was fishing here. I was fishing at the top of the drop though. It was about 40 feet deep. I was fishing right at the top instead of the bottom where we're at today. You can see on the map there, I was fishing right there. This was a few years ago, and I got this video on my channel. I caught one of my biggest blues ever at the top of that drop. Now, that was in the spring. I actually think it's late winter. I think it was like February or March of that year. I'm trying to think what year that was. It was probably been like 2018 or 2019. I think it's 2019, mate. So five years ago. But in the spring, we'd had a bunch of rain. Water was up. I was fishing the top of that drop, just like we're doing today, suspend fishing. Drop baits down. Big splash right there behind us. But that was one of my biggest fish that I've ever caught on video. And kind of the same scenarios we got today with the water movement that we got. It's just this time of year, normally you get September, October. Here in East Tennessee, we don't have any water movement hardly. Like they'll generate at the dams from like noon to 10, basically. About noon to 10 p.m. roughly. That'll be all the current flow you get. And even when they are generating, you don't get very much because this time of year, we just don't get much rain. Usually where I live here in East Tennessee, you get rain in the winter months up through the spring. We can have some water fluctuations, a lot of flow depending on what we're getting, but you get into summer and through the fall, like we don't get much rain. And so this situation we have today is kind of unique in that it's just, I don't recall ever having current flow here on Fort Loudon where I'm at today this time of year. I don't recall anyway. So kind of a wild card. You could have made a strong argument if you'd actually showed up at the ramp today. Here you and I were fishing together right now, but only one of us actually got out of bed and got out here this morning. But if you'd showed up and you said, Justin, we're going to go fish shallow today, you could have talked me into it. I could have easily been persuaded. You could have made an argument either way. But it's just, there's no bad time to fish deep structure. And the fact that out here, and if we work back in these creeks, there's one here, there's one up here. You work back up in there in the shallows, you're probably not going to have any water movement because the water's coming out of the French Broad this way and pushing up into the creeks. So you're not going to have that current flow back up in there, in most of them anyway. But out here in the channel, we do have that flow, and so we can take advantage of it. And setting up in front of, you can pick any of these creeks out through here on the Tennessee River. There's bait in all of them. Fish are going to work in and out of all of them at some point. And so you take advantage of the current, let it disperse your scent, and you're set up to get fish moving in and out. It's like, it's a winning combination. Now, whether or not the fish are going to move while you are on the water is always the $1,000,000 question. But so far, so good today. 3 fish in the first hour. Normally, again, on Fort Loudon, I'm looking for about 1 fish per hour bite. That's typically what I want to average and feel like I've had a good day. I can go to Watts Bar and usually try to get more fish than that, but the bite on Loudon typically about 1 bite an hour. Usually, most of the time I expect to get a little better quality on Loudon than Watts Bar, but more fish on Watts Bar than here. So it don't always work out that way. I've busted big fish on Watts Bar, and then I've had, occasionally you'll have a day here on Loudon where you catch a bunch of fish. But most of the time it works out, you get if I fish 4 or 5 hours, I'm gonna catch 4 or 5 fish. That's typically what I'm hoping for. So the fact that we got 3 in the first hour, we're off to a good start. Now you can look around at the sky, it's cloudy. There is chance for rain again today. I do have the umbrella with me. Poor man's bimini top will hook up if need be. It rained on me a little bit yesterday. I went out, I didn't get on the water yesterday. I just went out and fished off the bank for about an hour, try to get us some skipjack. And fortunately, I got us enough for today. And well, if weather allows, maybe tomorrow too, as this rod right here gets hit. So it did rain a little bit yesterday on me, and it's just been every day, man. It's been raining, high winds. Today the wind is calm, thankfully, so that's the biggest deterrent for me is the wind. I can't, in fishing out of a kayak, there just ain't much I can do in the wind. Not like it was blowing these past few days anyway. Again, fortunately, my house, from the wind, we didn't really have any problems with that. Oftentimes you get a good soaking rain and then you get to high winds, you start having uprooted trees and whatnot. But I had some sticks and branches in my trees in my yard. I picked up about a wheelbarrow full yesterday there, and my fire pit, it's completely full of stuff, but that was really all I had. My garden took a hit. I'd built these tomato cages that they're about they're 8 foot, but a foot of it's down the ground, so about 7 foot tall. My tomato plants are just about every bit of 7 foot tall right now. And so a couple of them are leaning. They didn't get knocked over, but they're leaning. Now my pepper plants took a big hit because they had outgrew the cages for them. I gotta have bigger pepper cages next year. This is my first year of that raised bed garden, and I'd showed my channel members this. I can't remember if I've showed the rest of you my raised bed or not. I'd been doing garden updates for my channel members all summer long, but I'd kind of let the garden go a little bit over the last month. My cucumbers were done, and I've been tired of tomatoes and peppers. I've eaten so many this summer, I was just tired of them. But it was my first year doing the raised bed garden, and I just couldn't believe how big the plants got. Like I knew my soil was good. I'd had all that topsoil brought in last fall, fill in holes in my yard, and I took what was left and I made that garden, the raised bed garden, and of course I had some compost brought in to top it off with, and I'd put some leaves in there last year, and I'd line the bottom of it with rotting wood too, just to kind of hopefully help build the soil up, keep it good for a few years, of course. And I always compost my scraps and things too, help make some more soil. So I didn't know what to expect, but it exceeded expectations. The plants thrived in there, and Mother Nature said she's going to try to knock them over. And she did on them pepper plants. If I hadn't had them tomato cages tied off to a fence post, well, they'd have probably took a tumble too. But that wind blowing like it was, man, in the kayak, you can't do much with it. It just ain't safe. Of course, you can try to get out, and this kayak here, you try getting out in that rough water with the white caps and stuff, you're going to end up with the entire hull full of water. It's going to get in that hatch. My new kayak, here's an update for you. Regular viewers have been hearing me talk about the new kayak I'm going to get. I may not get it as quickly as I had hoped. Here's the situation. So I'm looking real closely at that new Bonafide kayak, XTR 130. As our head bait here got tapped again. He's still tapping it. Has he got it? You better get it, fish. I got my feet up, I'm comfortable. I think you let it go. Well, those things, Bonafide said they were going to start shipping in September. Well, they did, but it's late September. So my plan is to get it from Raccoon Creek Outfitters because they sponsor our tournament trail. Well, they're located in Ohio, and that's a pretty good haul for me. And so they're supposed to be getting them on October 2nd. That's when they're going to get them in stock. So by the time you're seeing this video, my video about a week behind here now, they've already got them in stock by the time you're seeing this. Well, here's the thing. because I got knocked out of filming the last basically week here, I don't have as big a cushion as what I once had. As far as, I try to keep my videos, I try to keep a few videos ahead, try to keep a cushion, try to keep about 2 weeks ahead, usually what I want to be. I do that for a couple of reasons. You know, I want the videos to come out in a reasonable time period. That way, when you're seeing me catch fish under certain water temperatures, conditions, whatever, I want it to be relative to the time period you're watching it. So if my videos are about 2 weeks behind, whatever I was doing 2 weeks ago is probably still relative in most situations to what you're experiencing. Or if you are north of where I live and where I'm fishing, whatever's happening to me because of the climate change, the climate differences between us, whatever I'm experiencing now, you're probably going to be going through 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, as far as like water temperatures warming in the spring, falling in the fall, winter, etc. You know, because y'all are a little bit behind. So if as long as my videos are, oh, here we go. Nope. Oh, he's over here now. Musical rods going down here, folks. None of them hooking up. But anyway, the videos, as long as I keep my videos within a couple weeks, posting within a couple weeks of filming, the information's all still relative. So doing that, for you, the viewer, you have relative information as far as whatever I can figure out's going on for the time period. For me, the YouTuber, does a couple things for me. One, it gives me a cushion. So if I have a situation where this past week where the weather just knocks me out for several days and I can't film, well, I don't have any kind of disruption to the video production schedule. Y'all still have consistent videos coming out. And that's important on YouTube. I don't care what schedule you're on with YouTube. You can do 1 video a week, 2 videos a week, 3 a week. It don't matter. There's channels that have had success on all different types of schedules. But whatever schedule you're on, you better stick with it. Because if you're having success on a particular schedule and you change, the algorithm punishes you. If you make a change, and I've had this happen to me before where life happens, I missed an upload, or I changed the time of my upload, changed the days, boy, you get punished, man. It's hard to get back the momentum you had going. Here we go. This fish has got some momentum taking that rod down, don't he? Let's reel him. No, he just let it go. That fish. That ain't nice, fish. I think he might have foul hooked our bait. No, it's still okay. Let's take a look. Yeah, it is foul hooked now. Let's switch it out. I want to put a fresh bait on there. With the current today, it's been down there an hour now. It's been hit numerous times. With the current flow, it's going to wash out our scent and our blood a little quicker. So let's just put another one on. Una momenta, folks. To be continued on the story. Let me get our bait cut up here. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put this head bait on and we'll just go ahead and switch out our body sections too. This is a smaller skipjack here, so I'll probably leave the gut pocket intact on both pieces on this one, since it is a little bit on the smaller side. Most of the skipjack I got yesterday were pretty good quality. I do want to spruce them up. See if that'll help our cause, getting these fish to come up here and eat them and hopefully stay hooked up. We'll go under this gill plate and out the nostril right there. That's how I like to hook the head baits. It's personal preference. A lot of different ways you can do it, but that's what I like. We got some grass working downriver here. Hopefully, I'd honestly rather see limbs coming downriver than grass. Grass gets all caught up in your line and works its way down to your hook. And this is a fish on right here. I didn't know that one was on. I picked up, oh, there he went in. I didn't know that was on there. We all lousy fishing partners, you didn't know it was on there either. Y'all missed out on fish. You could have reeled you one in right there. You didn't even know he's hooked. Missed opportunity, folks. Put this chunk on. Now this one still does have a fly on it. So here's the nice thing about these flies when you're fishing in current. And we drop that bait down. The current's gonna be moving along, and that fly, it's just it's hair on a hook is all it is. So it's gonna be behind our bait, and it's gonna be constantly moving in that current like a small bait fish moving. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got some fish on the fly today. Wouldn't surprise me one nary bit. Been getting several fish on the flies on some recent trips, so I wouldn't be shocked at all. I'm more shocked that goldfish that had 9 lives, I'm more shocked he got eaten than anything. That was the luckiest fish ever. He may still be alive down there. That fish that tried to eat him might have just knocked him off the hook. That's the story I'm gonna tell. That's what I'm gonna tell everybody. That fish is still swimming. These baits here, oftentimes, y'all have seen me do this. About grab the piece we just reeled in. Oftentimes, I'll take the used cut bait pieces and I will cut them up in smaller chunks and just throw them overboard and kind of chum the water right under us. With the current flow today, that would be a waste of time to do it, but because the time those smaller pieces landed, they're going to be so far behind us that it's just, it ain't gonna do anything for us in that situation. So I'm gonna just toss them overboard, get them out of here, and toss that tail overboard too. Get rid of that head also. Get it all out of here. Them fish might get a free meal out of it, but that'd be all right. If a fish does eat, it's going to be way downstream behind us. Yeah, so anyway, as far as the YouTube schedule goes, it's good to, whatever schedule you're on, stick with it, because you're going to get punished. Another advantage for me is that when I post a video that has fish being caught or big fish being caught especially, people are going to show up, man. They're going to recognize the background and they're going to show up. Especially believe me, the other YouTubers, man, everybody's so desperate to get a damn video, they steal your video titles. They'll do anything. They see where you're catching a fish, they're out there the next day trying to film a video on that spot. So it's good for me having a cushion between when I film and when I post. That way, if I'm on a good bite and I want to go back and hit it again a few times, I can be done with that area before everybody else shows up. That happened back in the spring, man. I was down on Chickamauga. And I was filming down there next to, there was a nuclear plant there in the background. And I knew, I was on a good bite. And I said, I knew as soon as my first video comes out, that place is going to get pounded. And so I had filmed several videos down there. And within a day of my first video posting, here come that other YouTuber down there. And so it's like, I've learned how to play the game, man. I've learned how to do it. You got to give yourself a cushion. That way you can, if you have a week like we've had here where I just got knocked out of fishing for a week, I don't have my schedule disrupted. And if I get on a good bite, by the time other people start showing up on that spot, when that first video posts, I'm done with it. I've done moved on to the next place. So anyway, what I was going with that, how I got on that topic, was talking about the new kayak. Because my plan was, as soon as Raccoon Creek Outfitters got them in stock, I was going to go up there. We got, look this front rod right here. Every time I put my feet up, try to relax around here, something tapped it. I think he's gone now. He knew my feet was up. That fish was courteous. He didn't want to disrupt me. But I was wanting to go up there as soon as they got them in stock. Well, Bonafide waited till the end of the month to ship, and so Raccoon Creek is supposed to be getting them in October 2nd, which is, what's the day, Monday? So they're supposed to get them in Wednesday, so figure probably need to wait till Thursday to go up there, because depending on what time they're delivered on Wednesday, they got to get them offloaded and set up and everything. So at least Thursday or Friday before it's going to be available, ready to check out in person. Well, with me taking a week off here because of the rain and storms and stuff, I don't have as much of a cushion as I had. Okay, he got it. No. Doggone fish. Tease me. Like another one of them girls at the gentleman's club. Just a tease. But I don't have the cushion that I once had because I got knocked out. I wasn't able to film this past week. So I need to try to get that cushion back, because in addition to wanting to go to Ohio, and it'll take me, it's a few hour drive up there and a few hour drive back. So you got to figure I'm going to lose a whole day. Plus I'm going to have to rig some rod holders on whatever kayak I get. So, it's going to take me, I'm going to lose a little time when I switch over to the new kayak. What's going on with this rod right here? My line is, what's up with that? Oh man, maybe the current just picked up or something. I don't know. My line seemed a little bit further back. I don't know. Maybe the flow's picking up or something. That line seems more at an angle than the others. We're definitely not going to have our lines vertical under us today, that's for sure. It's going to be at a slight angle. But anyway, I don't have the cushion that I once had. I think I've got 2 videos. As of this morning when I'm filming this, I'm like 2 videos ahead. So if we get one today, that'll put me 3 ahead. But I've got a trip coming up to Louisiana, and I'm going to be gone a while. And I'm not going to be able to upload while I'm in Louisiana because with these unedited videos, the file sizes are so large, you're never going to be able to upload them on a hotel Wi-Fi. So I need to have enough videos filmed to be able to have consistent uploads while I'm gone on my trip. Okay, has he got it in? You better be on this time, fish. I'm tired of messing with you all, messing up my baits now. He's got it. He's gonna pull a little bit too, ain't he? This is gonna pull a little bit. I didn't think he was very big when I picked up on him. He may not be. Hell, he may be foul hooked or something. He may have hit that bait and rolled into the fly. We may be reeling him in tail first or something, but he is gonna pull either way. One of the nice things about getting a foul hooked fish is they fight harder. A mouth hooked fish. Now, I don't know if that's the case with this one, or maybe it's just a little bit better quality. I don't know. We'll find out here in a second, but it's fun right now, no matter what the situation is. Are you bringing? Oh, one of these other rods got hit. My other back rod over there, it got hit, but I don't think he stayed hooked up. I felt the kayak rock backwards. Yeah, well, he's hooked in the mouth, and he ain't very big. Larger dink, but he felt bigger. I guess the current probably made him feel a little bigger. With not having current flow out here most of the time, and all these fish, I guess, are gonna feel a little bigger today. He's a larger dink. Come here, fish. You interrupting story time. You threw that bait off too, didn't you? Oh, Lord. No need to act that way, fish. No need to be like that. Where's your bigger kinfolk at? You seen any flatheads down there today, Blue Kitty? That's what I want. I want to catch a big flathead today. I don't care if it's on a cut bait or that final goldfish we got. It don't matter to me. Yeah, it's a bigger dink right there. He's gone's what he is. He's got a bad attitude. He ain't welcome around here with that attitude. All right, let's get that other piece of skipjack right there. We'll leave the gut pocket intact on this one too. They seem to be pretty aggressive today, so maybe we'll throw out all the rest of the chunks we used today with the gut pocket intact. Just bigger profile. Come here, hook. There we go. Yeah, it's another fish, man. We're getting numbers so far. Certainly more fish than what I normally expect. So that's a welcome thing. Can we get quality today? That's something that remains to be seen. It is the time of year. The flathead bite's been picking up. I've gotten a couple really nice flatheads on some recent trips. Got a really big one there recently. Get rid of that tail. But yeah, anyway, I got that trip to Louisiana coming up. Oh, boy, these fish don't want me telling you about it either. Headbait got hit again, but this one on the back rod got hit while we were fighting the other fish, but he didn't. He nailed it, but he didn't stay buttoned up. Let me check this, make sure we still got bait on here. He may have ripped our bait off. I think he did rip our bait. He did. I'm glad I checked it. Y'all would have let me sit down there with a bare hook all morning long. Y'all have done it to me before. Well, let's get another skipjack. Fortunately, I've got plenty. The skipjack bite was pretty good yesterday afternoon. It's nice to be able to just go on fishing from the bank for an hour or so and get enough skipjack to fish with. I feel like I'm getting wet on my head right now. Is it starting to rain? I hope not. I can see the rain behind us. It's coming this way. Dadgummit. Good thing I brought the umbrella. I'm prepared today, buddy. Normally you're prepared, it wards the rain off. When you show up without an umbrella or rain suits when you get wet, looks like we're gonna, even being prepared ain't gonna save us today. Put that back in the cooler. Yeah, I'm gonna try to tell you about Louisiana here before the next fish bites. I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not. How we doing on y'all's end here? No, the lens is still clear for y'all. So yeah, Louisiana, I'm going down there next week. And I need to try to get enough videos scheduled to be releasing there while I'm gone so that there's no disruption. So I need to have a good week this week is what I need to have. Because I'm hoping to leave next Monday. Daphne the dog's got a vet appointment. She got to get her shots. And what I'd like to do is take her to that appointment and then leave afterwards, drive part of the way to Louisiana there next Monday night, and then Tuesday morning get up and drive the rest of the way. And hopefully get down there and start fishing on Wednesday. And then fish Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for catfish. We'll have our catfish tournament there that following Saturday. And then depending on weather and how the catfishing's going and all that, I may go do some saltwater fishing. It's going to be hard to not go saltwater fishing being down there and whatnot, right? So that's kind of my plan, but I need to stockpile a few videos to get ready for that. I'm going to bust out the umbrella, man. It's just kind of sprinkling like a mist right now. And you know me, I'm a bit of a diva. I don't like getting wet if I don't have to. I can see it raining behind us here. Well, you can see it in front of us now too a little bit. It's just like a mist. It's not really, it's not big water droplets, not like a normal rain, just enough to be annoying. Hopefully it'll pass very quickly here. I'm not going to put the umbrella in the mount just yet. Sit here and hold it. See if this passes. But yeah, that's the plan for Louisiana right now. It's what I want to do. I would like to, if I get the new kayak, to take it with me, but I just don't know that I'm going to be able to get the number of videos I need this week to sustain me through the Louisiana trip and be able to go to Ohio. I don't know that I can work all that in. So I may have to wait to go to Ohio to get the kayak until I get back from Louisiana. So then that puts the question in, which kayak do I take on the Louisiana trip? Do I take my pedal kayak, which will be better for the ocean? Or do I take this kayak, which won't be good for the ocean, but will be better for the catfishing? Part of my concern for Louisiana, obviously weather this time of year is a concern. It is hurricane season, so who knows what the weather will be like down there in 2 weeks, essentially, when the tournament is. There could be some other hurricane, tropical storm, whatever coming through and knock us out of fishing. It's possible. The other thing that I was worried about, and I'd reached out, I talked to Ryan Bortz last night to see if he'd heard anything, and he didn't think it was going to be too bad. All this rainwater that we've had in East Tennessee, up in the mountains, that's now coming down the French Broad and into the Tennessee River, where is it going to end up? Well, it'll ultimately end up in probably the Mississippi River, right? At some point, eventually, as it makes its way down. So I was concerned that the current flow there may be too bad for us to be out there kayak fishing, but Ryan had talked to somebody that lives down there, and according to them, it wasn't going to raise the current more than maybe a half a mile an hour over what it currently is. So that's encouraging, at least, to know that if we do get to fish, which is a big if, this year, man, every tournament, it seems like, there's been some weather event. The last tournament in Alabama, I didn't even go to because you had that tropical storm hitting down there in Alabama the day of the tournament. High winds, pouring rain. You had the Nickajack tournament, I think it was April or May. It stormed, knocked me out of fishing half the damn tournament because of storms that morning. We went up to Hoover there in Columbus, Ohio. We had 15 plus mile an hour winds all day to deal with. The Chickamauga tournament, I remember it poured down rain out there. I got drenched. Like, we've had some lousy weather on the tournament schedule this year. It's been just kind of bad luck, really. You can't, when they set the tournament schedule a year in advance, hell, you can't plan for the weather that far in advance, obviously. But it's just been bad luck this year. So I'm concerned that maybe we go down there to Louisiana and there'll be another damn hurricane or tropical storm or something working through. But the plan right now, though, is for me, leave out next Monday and hopefully start fishing Wednesday morning at the latest. Maybe Tuesday afternoon if I get down there at a reasonable time. I think it's going to be about a 9-hour drive. So it's not, I could do it in a day, but I'd rather break up that drive over 2 days, especially since I'm going to be sitting in a kayak so much all week long down there. I'd rather not have 9 hours, consecutive hours in a car. My butt and my back don't like sitting that long anymore. That's why most of my kayak trips 4 or 5 hours long, and I just don't like sitting that much. So we'll see how it goes. I'm optimistic. I think this Louisiana trip has potential for some big fish. They had the King Cat boat tournament down there recently, and man, there was a lot of big fish caught. So I've never been there before. I've never fished the Mississippi River. Never fished in Louisiana, never been to the state of Louisiana. So I'm gonna go down there, try to catch a catfish. Hopefully maybe catch some saltwater fish while I'm there. I guess I should probably eat a crawdad. I used to catch them things in the creek when I was a kid. Keep them as pets until they die. But they eat them down there in Louisiana. They'll eat anything down there. So I may eat one of them just to say I done it. If I go to New Orleans, I may get a voodoo doll or something. I don't know about voodoo dolls. Some people believe in them things. Here's my thing with voodoo dolls. If voodoo dolls existed, if it was real, wouldn't professional wrestlers constantly be getting hurt? Because think about this. What is a voodoo doll? It is a toy, an action figure, if you will, of an individual person. And as a kid who grew up playing with action figures, G.I. Joes, Ninja Turtles, He-Man, Thundercats, all that stuff, and wrestling figures, those toys were essentially a action figure representing something. Now, if it's like Ninja Turtles, well, that's a fictional character. But wrestling figures are kind of like voodoo dolls, right? They are an action figure of a real person. The wrestler is a real person. So when I'm a kid and I had them LJN wrestling figures and I got Hulk Hogan dropping the leg on Big John Studd, You would think Big John Stud would probably feel that leg drop, right? You would think. But voodoo dolls aren't real. As this fish, I don't know if that fish over there on that front rod is real. He better not bite right now while it's raining. I'll have to put this umbrella down. I don't want to get wet. Hold on a few minutes, fish. Let this rain pass. It's just now picking up a little bit. I think he's going to listen to me. Now he's gone. That's a good fish right there. If I'm going to get wet, I want to get wet on a good fish. Sun's trying to peek out over there. It's just a mist. It's a annoying mist right now, a drizzle. You can't even see it hitting. I don't even see it hitting the water. I hear it hitting the umbrella, but you barely even see it hitting the water. But yeah, you would think if voodoo dolls were real, and you had essentially a voodoo doll of a professional wrestler, all these kids playing with wrestling toys, when you got Hulk Hogan dropping the leg on the Iron Sheik or Big John Stud or Hillbilly Jim, you'd think they'd feel it if voodoo dolls were real. But I go to Louisiana. If I'm driving through New Orleans and I see a roadside stand with voodoo dolls for sale, I may have to make a purchase. I don't want to bring no hexes home with me or nothing, no curses, but it would be a neat novelty thing. I got that voodoo hex, curse, whatever it was off me when I put that rock back by the tree. I'd found that rock. I told this story. But I found a rock I thought was a meteorite. And I took it in my house. I took it out in the kayak. I showed y'all. And after that, I started having just bad luck. Just things would happen. Every day, something was going wrong. And any individual day, those things that go wrong, you just chalk it up to bad luck. Just one of those things. But when things kept happening day after day after day after day, I was like, man, something is up. And then I was walking out my house, and I saw that rock sitting there on my kitchen counter, and I was like, that's it. That's what changed. I brought that rock in the house, and that's when I started having all this bad luck. So I took it outside, back to the tree. I'd found it right below this tree. I put it back down on the ground. I said, rock, I'm sorry. If you will remove this curse you've put upon me, I will not disturb you again. And after that, my bad luck stopped. So y'all can think I'm crazy. Some of y'all don't believe in bad luck and curses and bad Judy and stuff, but I'm telling you, it's real. That I know. I don't know if voodoo dolls are real, but I know bad Judy's real. It happens. It's legit. And it was on me from disturbing that rock. I got it gone now, though, thankfully. Thankfully, that rock forgave me. I still don't know if it's a meteorite or not. Could be worth a lot of money, but I guarantee you if I sold that rock, I'd end up losing more money than what I sold it for. Just the bad luck, things tearing up, breaking. Guarantee it. Here comes some more stuff floating down the river here. There's something like a stump over there, I reckon. Current ain't moving fast. I mean, it's maybe half a mile an hour or so. Kind of a perfect drifting speed, honestly. Which I didn't even think about drifting. I never drift out here because we never have current. We might can do that today, potentially. I kind of want to, we're getting enough bites here. I kind of want to just set up here and ride it out a while. Yeah, whatever that over there is, I guess it's a stump of some kind. It's moving along. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Louisiana trip. I don't like traveling. I don't like it's nice to fish somewhere new. I don't like traveling to get there. That's always the part of traveling I don't like. It's being on the road. Plus, I'm kind of a homebody. I do enjoy being home. But I am looking forward to the trip. Fish somewhere new. They claim that the Mississippi River down there around Louisiana is a blue cat hotspot. I ain't seen nobody catching flatheads down there. I mean, I assume there are some, but I haven't seen reports of the big flatheads. We got something here on this front right rod. Tugging a little bit. That sun's wanting to pop out over there. It's going to blind us. I'm going to put my sunglasses on. But the blues, I mean, people down there in that tournament was catching not only big fish, but catching lots of big fish. So I'm hoping we can have a good trip down there, have a good tournament. Hopefully everybody, I hope I catch the most and biggest fish, but I hope the other guys have a good experience too. I don't know how many people we're going to have in this tournament. I don't think it's going to be a big turnout. I think it'll probably be less than 10 would be my guess. But I do know a handful of people. Ryan Bortz is definitely going. Kayak Mike will be there. Pretty sure Adam Flegel's going. I think John Ratliff might be going too. I think Ryan had mentioned him. So, I mean, we'll have a handful of people for sure. And the sponsor money's in the pot. So, I mean, we've got a guaranteed payout regardless of how many people show up. Ryan won that tournament in Alabama, only had 7 people. I think he won first place in Big Fish. I think he got $2,000. So nice payday. It won't be too terribly expensive trip, honestly, because it's a drive and you got hotel. But beyond that, when you go fishing somewhere on a fishing vacation, you spend most of your time fishing. So once you've bought your fishing license, being in a kayak, I'm not going to have to be buying gas or anything other than just my vehicle. So it's a cheaper vacation to go on when you go fishing somewhere. The biggest concern I have down there is catching bait. I'll probably, if I can, get out the Monday morning before I leave there. Daphne's appointment, I think, is at 2 o'clock, I think. So maybe go out in the morning and try to get some skipjack. But for tournament day, I'm going to have to locate some bait. And I think the guys in the King Cat tournament were using mullet. I've never caught a mullet. I don't know if you get them in a cast net or rod and reel. That's one of the things I'll have to research between now and then, kind of figure out. But I would imagine somebody down there's probably got some for sale or some kind of bait fish for sale. I think we can put our umbrella up now. I think it's past. Yeah, it's cleared off behind us now, and you can kind of see the rain up there in front of us. Good. I can sit out here in peace again. I can kick my feet up and relax. Take a load off here. Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, it'd be nice to get the new kayak, get it rigged up, have a trip or two in it here, get comfortable with it, and then go down there. With the current flow on the Mississippi River, it would definitely be nice to have the bigger motor. This one here is a 12 volt, 55 pound thrust. The motor I'm going to put on the new kayak, regardless of which kayak I get, either the Bonafide or the New Canoe Unlimited, it'll be a 36 volt, 100 pound thrust, power pole motor there. So it would be more suited for faster flow that I might find myself in. At least be able to get upriver, cover more water. Depending on how fast the flow is, we may have to do a float trip down there. And so I'd already talked to Ryan about that. Maybe him and I teaming up, parking. Basically what we would do is we would go downstream, park one vehicle, and then load up both kayaks either on one trailer or, you know, truck, whatever. Go back up river and launch, and then fish our way, put in at one location and fish our way down river to the next takeout. But, I mean, if the current is too strong to move back up river with our motors, or if it's just going to kill our batteries to do it, that's probably what we'll have to do. And the barge traffic's a concern too. I mean, down there on Mississippi River, they got a lot of barges coming in from the ocean. It's a busy area. We get barges out here on Tennessee River too, but I mean, you might see one barge a day, and they're smaller barges. On Mississippi, I mean, it's an all day, every day type thing, big barges. And so being out there in the kayak, a little intimidating. This fish ain't intimidated though. He got that bait, didn't he? He said he wasn't intimidated by that hook and that bait at all. He'll just chomp down on that thing and take off, and he did. Oh, did you see that right there? I don't know what that was over there. As the fish come up. Y'all might have got a look at that thing. I don't know what it was. I just got it out the corner of my eye. By the time I glanced over, he was already down. This is another one that feels pretty good, but who knows with the current. That last one there, that larger dink, felt bigger than he was. I'd rather them feel bigger than they are than smaller than they are, though, if you got a choice in it. If you get to pick one. I think it's probably going to be a blue. I feel him like he's rolling down there a little bit, so still skunked on the flatheads today. I'm hoping, though, at some point, maybe, we'll get one working through. I've caught some big flatheads in the past this time of year. Man, it's just in the fall, the flathead bite really starts to pick up. And there goes our bubbles. You're bringing these fish up 62 feet, you want them to decompress, you want to see the bubbles, but with the current, most of the bubbles that are going to come up, it's going to be behind us by the time they get to the surface. But I did see some there on this fish. There's some more right there. As we got a patch of fish, work yourself around this patch of weeds going by. Let's hope that don't get in our back line either. Let me try to work it around. Good, I got lucky right there. I hate them type of weeds because they get in your line and they work their way down to your hook, and it's a mess. It's probably going to be the biggest one of the morning so far. Fun sizer. A little bit better quality anyway. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. This fish says he ain't getting there. He's got a hook in his mouth. He can't get nowhere. This fish said he's trying to get the mailbox, send his Netflix DVD back. These fish, they're so far behind us technology-wise, they're still getting DVDs from Netflix. That's how far behind they are technology. But you know what? When floods happen, these fish, they don't even care. They don't even care. Humans, it ruins our lives. Natural disasters hits. These fish, they ain't the least bit affected by it. From that aspect of things, it makes you wonder who's more advanced, humans or the animals, when they're not disrupted at all. One would argue, with all this extra rain and current flow, that these fish are actually better off, because it's more easy for them to ambush bait and all that. All right, fish. I'll tell you what, you're borderline front camera worthy, but I'll give him some front camera time. There we go. Fun sizer, smaller fun sizer, but it's an upgrade over some of them that we've been getting, and it's another bite. At least we're getting some activity out here today. My one bite an hour that I'm kind of hoping for when I fish Loudon today we're averaging well above that. So that's good. We just got to get some, hopefully some better quality fish, and maybe, y'all keep your fingers crossed out there, maybe we get us a flathead at some point. I don't even care how big a flathead it is. Honestly, I mean, I want a big one, but any flathead would be a welcome sight today. So we'll see, we'll keep after it. I'm gonna put us another chunk on here. I'll probably take my, what do you think? I'm gonna leave his glasses on. I'm gonna leave it on, folks. It's just bright enough that you need them on. Get us another piece of Skippy. Yeah, welcome surprise so far on the number of bites. I think it's the current, man. I definitely don't have a desire to move at this point. I mean, if we had been sitting here, however long we've been fishing now, hour and a half, 2 hours, however long it's been. If we've been sitting here the whole time and not getting bit, I'd have probably tried the shallows. But the fact that we're catching fish out here and we're getting a good number of fish, I think we're in the right place. We just need one of them better quality fish to come along. I think they will come along. I don't know if it's going to happen while we're out here, but they will at some point come along. Put that chunk of meat on right there. All right. Let's send that back down. Let me see that fly. It looked like it was wrapped up around the leader there. There we go. Now we're in business. Finally got your all's leader fixed there. Can't get you to do nothing for yourselves. If you're still getting a DVD from Netflix, I'd probably have to put it in the mailbox for you. Speaking of Netflix, though, I've been watching that Vince McMahon documentary series on there. I've only in 2 episodes. I'm having to wait on the girlfriend. She's into it too. She didn't grow up watching wrestling like I did, but sometimes before bed, she'll be sitting there on her phone. We're just killing time before bed or something. She'll be reading her book or scrolling through social media or something, and I'll be sitting there watching YouTube. And usually when I'm watching YouTube, it's old wrestling matches or Jim Cornette podcast, something like that most of the time. And so she's seen a lot of old wrestling matches now. And so she knows a lot of the wrestlers. And so she wanted to watch. I would have binge watched this Vince McMahon documentary with all this rain we've had. Lord knows I've had a lot of free time sitting at home watching TV. But she wants to watch too. So we're only 2 episodes in. But boy, it's good. I'm into it right now. That whole Vince McMahon story, I don't know if y'all followed along with it. I don't want to do spoiler or anything. And of course, I don't know what happens at the end. But I'd heard about the lawsuit and him paying the women and whatnot prior to this documentary. and some of the allegations that were made in the lawsuit, some of the stuff he's into. And boy, it fits the character for what you'd see on TV back in the day, back when wrestling was good. But I'm into it, man. I'm looking forward to these final. It's hard to watch TV right now as far as a show like that and get all the episodes in, because hell, there's football damn near every night of the week. And of course, I'm gonna watch football right now. And I've been stuck at home with all this rain. I ain't been able to get out and fish, but the girlfriend, she's had to work. So our TV time together has been, my TV time overall has been, I've had a ton of time lately. I've watched a ton of old wrestling matches, G.I. Joe cartoons. Like I've been a lazy bum the last few days. But she's been at work, so our TV time together has been limited. So we only got 2 episodes done so far. But I definitely, even only watching 2 episodes, I already recommend this show. If you were a wrestling fan in the 80s or 90s, check it out. I think you're going to be into it. I couldn't figure out what that noise was. It's somebody over here in a damn, I don't even know what kind of boat that is. They got their radio on full blast. Hopefully the traffic to my left and the fact I'm using the fancy pants microphone, hopefully it'll tune that crap out. That's all we need is a copyright ding. I'm trying to get us ahead on videos so we don't have no disruption while I go to Louisiana. I'm going to Louisiana, I mean, as long as it ain't gonna have no hurricane, I'm going down there regardless of whether there's a disruption to my schedule, but I hate to get punished by the algorithm if I don't have to. I don't want you all to miss out on all this excitement either. I know some of you look forward to this crap. I'm honestly amazed. And I'm kind of knocking myself here when I say this. You're supposed to build yourself up. It's like when you were in school, every once in a while, a teacher would say, grade your own paper, give yourself a grade. It was really like a psychology thing. You never screw yourself. If a teacher gives you an opportunity to grade yourself, you always get an A+. That's how it's supposed to be. When you're talking about yourself, you're supposed to talk about yourself like you're the bee's knees, man. That's how it's supposed to be. So when I say this, I'm kind of knocking myself a bit, but I am amazed that so many of you all like to come fishing with me on these trips, because essentially that's what you're doing. We're fishing together today. You're seeing it all, everything that I'd be dealing with, any fish, crazy stuff, snags, whatever. Y'all are here for it. And some of you all watch these things beginning to end every single trip. And I know because I see your comments. People comment throughout the video and mention stuff specifically happening and random stories I tell and whatnot. And so I know people watch beginning to end on some of these things, and I'm amazed by that. I'm amazed anybody could tolerate me that damn long. Some of you can't tolerate me. I got to show you. Hold on. Let me find this thing. I pissed one of them off, folks. I've insulted a woman. Women get mad. Women make up a very small percentage of my audience, but boy, they get, oh, hold on, we got a fish back here. We got a fish, and I'm gonna try to find it. I saved this comment, I wanted to show it to you. We're gonna find this woman a man. Oh, I lost the fish. I may have lost the bait too. I think we lost them both. We've been robbed. One of you's called the law. Call Matt Holochek. He's a viewer of mine. He's a channel member, He's a cop. I know he'll file a report on that thing. Old Brandon Hunter with the Fins and Talons YouTube channel. He's a cop too. He lost his bird, by the way. I was following him. I've been kind of into the falconry stuff lately. Calls of Brandon. He's the one that's got me into it. And he's been filming his process of capturing a bird, training it, teaching it to hunt, and all that. And it's been fascinating. I've been fascinated by the process. Brandon's a pretty good speaker. And he's new to YouTube, but his videos are really good. Fins and Talons, again, is the channel name. I've plugged him on here before. Some of you have been watching. But he found this, he captured this red-tailed hawk, and of course he filmed it, and he filmed himself kind of training the bird, and things was going well, and he took it out hunting on a recent video and lost the bird. And he lost all his gear because he had like the GPS trackers and all that stuff that they do on the bird, but it got away from him and got too far away, and he couldn't pick it up on the GPS, so he lost his bird. And so I hate that because I was enjoying the videos. But anyway, he's a cop in real life, and so we need to file a report on that fish stealing our bait. He's the guy to call. All right, now we're gonna see if we can find this. I screenshotted it because I wanted to read it to y'all on video. This woman, she was pissed off before. She's about to be really mad now when we shout her out on this video. Well, let me tell you the backstory though before I show you this comment. So, a few weeks ago, I was talking about, I don't remember how, I think it was because the women with their lip fit. One of the things that's going on in society now is these women are putting something in their lips, and it makes their lips swell up like they got an anaphylactic allergic reaction going on. And anyway, I was scrolling through social media, and an ex-girlfriend of mine popped up on there, and I hadn't seen this girl since college. I mean, it'd been a long time. And I saw her, and like I recognized her, and I looked at the picture. I'm like, holy cow, what the hell happened to her? I mean, I clicked on the profile to see what was up. I thought she had had like some kind of reaction because her lips were so damn big. But apparently that's style now. That's what these women do. They inject their lips to make them all swolled up. And I thought, I saw me and that girl, we were oil and water, man. We just, you talk about two just incompatible people. Like, I brought out the worst in her, and she brought out the worst in me. Everybody's got pet peeves, right? Like, everybody's got things that just kind of set them off, like just things they're annoyed by. Me and her, like, something about me and her, we just pushed each other's buttons the wrong way. So, we haven't talked since the final breakup. The first, you know how it is. When there's physical attraction there, the first breakup don't always take. You know what I mean? Like you end up, when you're physically attracted to somebody, it helps you kind of overlook the flaws that they have in their personality and the flaws within you and that person's relationship. So the first couple breakups her and I had, they didn't take right away. But finally, when we broke up for the last time, and I don't even remember why we broke up, it's been so damn long, but probably just because we couldn't get along, we're always arguing and bickering and stuff. But we hadn't talked, and I mean, I ain't seen this girl in 15 years or more until she popped up on Facebook there as somebody I may know. I saw her lips, and I was like, man, all them times we'd be arguing and I probably told her to kiss my ass. She could have kissed my entire ass if her lips had been that big back then. But anyway, I was talking about that and why these women do that, because it's so stupid. It looks so bad. Like, there's nothing wrong with having some lip filler put in if you got really small lips. You know, a lot of people don't have upper lips. You know what I'm talking about. It's like they have an upper lip, but you can't really see it. And so in that situation, if somebody wants to put in a little filler and make a lip that's small, look normal size, so be it. But these women, and the ex-girlfriend there had done this. Like, she made her lips so big, like it takes over her whole face. Like, it looks like something that you would have, when we were kids, you had them pieces of wax, them wax lips you get at Halloween and stuff. That's what I thought of when I saw that. Once I realized she wasn't having an anaphylactic reaction. And I was like, why the hell would she take a picture of herself having an anaphylactic reaction? But anyhow, that prompted me to go into a factual statement and a factual story of how, and I ain't trying to be insulting to women here. I'm not trying to insult women. I'm just preaching some facts. That on average, men age better than women. And this comment of this woman, she's going to refute this, and I'm going to read it to you because she wrote a paragraph, man. She wants the world to hear what's going on with her opinions. But I'm going to stand pat with my opinion here. And I don't even think it's opinion. I think it's fact that men age better than women on average. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. Jennifer Aniston is what, 50-something, 60 years old? She looks like she's in her 20s. She looks amazing. She has aged incredibly well. That is an outlier situation. That is not the norm. Most of the time, when a woman hits 35, definitely around early 40s, she goes off a cliff. Sorry, ladies, it's just fact. Something happens there, late 30s, early 40s, where you start to go down. Not all women. There's Jennifer Anistons out there. There are some women that take care of themselves. They work out, they eat right, they do skincare stuff. They age a little bit more gracefully than others. But on average, you take an average man and an average woman, the man is going to age better. Women peak earlier in life, and then they slowly decline up there and then go off the cliff. Men peak a little bit later, I think, as far as physical appearance and stuff go. We're like mid-20s there when a man's going to peak. And then it's a slow, gradual decline through 40s, 50s, 60s, man. You get a man that's 40, 50 years old, as long as he's in reasonable shape, it don't matter if he's balding, if he's got gray hair, maybe he's got some wrinkles. Like, it's just, men age better than women. And it's just, women can get pissed off at me, but it's a fact, and you all know it. You see it. And men ain't doing nothing to themselves. Men ain't putting Botox in. Men ain't doing lip filler. We're not having facelifts. We're not doing any of that. I am going to go get my toes done this evening with the girlfriend here. It's time to get her toenails clipped. So I'm hopefully either going to get a hot Asian chick to do it tonight or the old Asian woman who does a really good job. I'm hoping for one or the two tonight. But anyway, aside from that, men don't do anything like that. Women, it's Botox, it's lip filler. They're getting their hair done all the time, highlights put in. Women used to get permanents. I guess that's a thing of the past. But they're doing all this stuff and still, like, that's just the way it is. But this woman, anyway, I'm going to find it here on my phone. We're going to find her a man too, by gosh. She says she's single. Let me pull it up here on my phone. Give me a second here. I gotta go through some other pictures and stuff that y'all probably don't need to see. Ain't no telling what you gonna see when you go through my phone. Could be a little bit of everything here. But I saved this comment. I wanted you all to be a part of this. Okay, folks, here we go. So this is from Socio Scorpio 9791. We're gonna make this woman famous. Socio, I'm assuming, is sociopath. Scorpio, if a woman tells you her sign, her astrological sign, ever, she's crazy, folks. That's a tip. That's a pro tip for any of you fellas out there in the dating game right now. If a woman tells you her sign, she is cuckoo. Better leave it be unless she's hot. But anyway, this woman, she writes, so I work in a bait shop, and I can't even get my words out. So I work in a bait shop, and I'm forced to listen to you talking about how men age better than women, and that is absolute shit. I don't know what women you're around, but I'm 44 and get dudes in their 20s coming for me. Can you say the same? Because unless you're rich AF, I can bet you can't. I'm single and looking around at men my age and just wonder why you guys can't take care of yourselves like women can. This is just gross behavior on your part to sit and talk shit about older women. I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. First off, I mean, this is a damn essay. I've triggered this woman. This is an essay she's written in my comment box here. I got questions about this right off the bat, though. First off, why is she forced to listen to me? Can she not turn the channel? Could she not click on a different video? Why is she forced to listen? Has somebody got this woman tied up? Does somebody need to call the law? Call Brandon Hunter, Fins and Talons right now, do a welfare check wherever this woman's at to see if she is tied to a chair and forced to watch my videos. She's chosen to not only to listen to my crap that I say, but then go click on a video to write out this essay. So this is her choice. But she goes on here, she says, I don't know what women you're around, but I'm 44 and get dudes in their 20s coming for me. Can you say the same? No, lady, I can't. I don't want dudes in their 20s coming for me. That would be weird. Okay, I ain't trying to be homophobic or anything. It's 2024. You can be whatever you want to be. But no, I don't want dudes coming for me. And no, I don't. Thank God I don't have any men after me. So there's that. But she says, I'm single and looking around at men my age and just wonder why you can't take care of yourself. I know why she's single. Listen, lady, and I ain't trying to insult you here, but let me just tell you some facts. She's 44. Any of you fellas out there, you looking for a single 44-year-old woman working at the bait shop, here you go. She's available and ready for you. But listen, lady, if you are so, what's the word I'm looking for? Emotional, high maintenance, high strung, that you are writing out essays in the comment box of some random guy on YouTube that you don't know, I can already tell you too damn high maintenance. That's why you're single, because ain't no man want all that drama. Okay, no man wants to deal with arguing and griping and complaining all the time. And if you're that triggered that you're going to write an essay on my comment box over me talking about an ex-girlfriend's lip filler, that says it all. And then you take the fact of the screen name there, Socio, that says something, probably sociopath. And Scorpio, I guarantee you, that's the astrological sign, Scorpio. That's why you're single, lady. That's the damn truth. So she might be good looking, she might be Jennifer Aniston, but I can tell you why she's single, fellas. So anyway, I've done pissed off another woman there, y'all. But she left that essay in a public comment box. So I was like, I'm gonna screenshot that and make her famous. We'll find her, man. My audience is 90+% men on any given video, and most of the men who watch my channel are age 25 to 44. So you're right there in that age range to date this poor woman, and she clearly needs a man. She needs some man to make her a kept woman, because right now she's being forced to work in that bait shop and forced to watch my videos. She don't even have the authority at that bait shop to turn the channel. You'd think they'd let her watch Days of Our Lives or some soap opera or something, but hell no, she's being forced. Whoever owns the bait shop, they got damn good taste in YouTube videos if they got me playing in there. But she's being tied to a chair and forced to watch me. I tell you, fellas, one of you need to go in there and rescue a damsel in distress. Y'all need to do it, man. I tell you, because she needs a man in a bad way, and she needs a new YouTube channel to watch. I read that, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. The thing, and here's what gets me about this stuff. When I get an essay like that, it's never about what I think is going to piss somebody off. Like I said something recently. What was it I was talking about? Oh yeah, I was fishing up here on a recent trip. And I was talking about my fence guy that I'd hired. I'd hired this drug addict to come expand my fence. And I guess he got a DUI or something, best I can figure. He didn't have no way to drive himself, so his woman was having to drive him. And I didn't think nothing of it when he come out to give me the estimate, because I thought, well, maybe they're just out doing estimates and on a date or going to go get dinner or something. But when she showed up driving his ass the day that he was going to do the work on my property, and she was out there just sitting around the whole time while he worked, I'm like, okay, this dude ain't got no license. And I made a comment about her, and as soon as I said it, you know, I'm just out here talking. I'm just out here, just like me and you were out here in this kayak together, man. We're just shooting the bull out here. I'm firing from the hip, you know. I am how I am. I'm just gonna talk how I talk. And so I said, I think I referred to her as a heifer or 300-pound fat ass or whatever. She was a very large woman just sitting out there in my yard watching this guy do a half-ass job on my fence. But I knew when I said that, I was like, oh, that's gonna trigger some people. Because, you know, that woman, she was a part of that job, technically. She had me sign the estimate thing there, contract or whatever, the day they come out. But she hadn't really crossed me. She wasn't the one that done the half-ass job on the fence. I guess she was part of it, because she's sitting there on her fat ass the whole time, supervising him. She sure wasn't directing him to do better. Either way, I just knew I was going to catch hell for that. Nobody said a damn thing. When that video come out, not one word was mentioned about that. And I just knew after I said it, I was like, boy, I'm going to take some heat for that. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, should have thought that through, Justin. Should have censored myself somehow. Because again, I'm out here firing from the hip. Whatever comes into my mind, out my mouth it goes. Just like it would be if you and I were out here fishing together. We were just sitting here, talking back and forth, telling stories and whatnot. This is what you'd be hearing. So, something like that happens. I say something derogatory about that woman who really hadn't done anything wrong to me. Her man had. Her man was a piece of trash, drug addict, did a piss poor job. But my fault, because I hired him. I take full responsibility. It's my mistake. But something like that, I thought I was going to catch hell over. Nobody said a thing. That video got, I don't know, 70, 80,000 views so far, probably 100,000 by the time this video comes out. Nobody said a thing. But something so minor, something so, as me talking about a generality of, just in general, I wasn't talking about this woman at the bait shop, although clearly I may have been because she took it personally. But just women in general, how they age poorly compared to men. I'm speaking facts. You all know it's true. I mean, just on average, take a look around at how many 40, 50-year-old men are getting these college-age girls. Now, most of these girls got a daddy complex, but still, they're getting these women you don't see. And of course, this woman claims she's got 20-year-old men after her. They clearly ain't trying to date her because she's single, but nevertheless, you don't see that out a lot where you have a younger man with an older woman. You typically don't. Now, you would if all 40-plus-year-old women looked like Jennifer Aniston, you would see it all the time, but that just ain't the case. But nevertheless, something Mead is talking about, something in general, a generality, and me talking about the ex-girlfriend there with her lips all swole up, triggered this woman to write an essay. I had another one recently, and I deleted it. I'd blocked a guy, because I'm choking up. I blocked this guy, and after I'd done it, I was like, oh man, I should have screenshotted that to show you all on video, because it was amazing. His essay was even longer than this woman's. And you know what I had said to piss him off? Hold on, this fish is done. I've triggered this fish too. I've triggered this fish into biting. I'm gonna get y'all excited over reeling in this fish so y'all can go buy some bait at this woman's bait shop. She's complaining to me, hell, I'm helping keeping them in business by promoting the sport of fishing. If people didn't fish, there wouldn't be a need for a bait shop. She wouldn't have a job. I'm worried about her at that job though. Somebody's got her tied to that chair, forced to watch my videos. They won't give her the remote. Click the channel, go on to the next video. They won't do it. That's gotta suck to be 44 years old and not even be able to turn the damn channel. There's 5 million fishing videos on YouTube. This is gonna pull, look at him go now. This fish is fired up, man. This fish, he's heard I've pissed this woman off. He's gonna defend her honor here. I'm gonna get her a man though. One of y'all out there, I promise, is single. If we get 100,000 views on this video and 90% of them are men, that'd mean 90,000 men, most of which are gonna be age 25 to 44. You're right there in her age range. I wish she had put her name and phone number on there. We'd have found her somebody, by gosh. Man of her dreams is watching this video right now. She don't even know it. She just gotta quit telling men her sign, her astrological sign. That's a guaranteed. You know you got a crazy woman if she's reading the tea leaves, if she's reading a horoscope every day. I ain't never dated a girl that read a horoscope or told you her sign that wasn't just bat S-H-I-T crazy. This fish is going crazy right here. This is another fun size. It's a solid fish. Just, I come out here today, man, I didn't know what to expect coming out, but every day, don't matter what's going on, what the conditions are, I always want a big one. Always. And we have failed to hook the whopper thus far. But the quality here is getting a little better now than what it was first thing when we were getting the smaller fish. I might hold this one up before I tell you the other story about the other guy. I wish I'd have saved that comment. God, I wish I had. It was so good. Oh, fish. Come here and act like somebody now. Come here and act like somebody. Oh, easy now. I'm gonna break my thumb, fish. That's uncalled for. Can't be spraining my thumb now. I gotta eat with that hand. Can't be. I don't know what I'd do. I'd have to find somebody to feed me or something. All right, let's hold you all back up there. There we go, another fun sizer, smaller fun sizer. It was a nice fight. I mean, he was pulling some line. These fish today, they're energetic if nothing else, man. They are fighting hard. They're pulling. They're aggressive out here today. But we just, so far, haven't found the big one. You seen the big one down there? You seen any flatheads? They just won't tell me. They won't give up their friends. Well, that fish knows all about that woman, though. We'll see. He'll talk about her on them date naps them catfish have. And they might help her out, too. That woman, she'll be sending me death threats next, y'all. Listen, though, folks, if you're going to blast me, if you're going to complain in my comment box or talk about me or whatever, you just got to understand you are posting on a public platform, and there's a chance I may make you famous on here. You just never know. We got to talk about something. And inevitably, again, if we were out here fishing together, I would have probably brought that woman up at some point, because I think it's hysterical. Anytime I trigger somebody over something stupid, I find it amusing. I'm amazed, what I'm most amazed about is the fact that people get pissed off at all about stuff like that. Like, I'm just why would anybody give a damn, unless you know me, or we're close friends or family, why would you give a damn what I have to say about anything? Especially to the point of getting upset and being triggered to the point of writing essays. I mean, that poor woman, she's there at the bait shop. They probably got me on TV. She's got to go pull out her phone, pull up my channel, click on a video, and write out an essay. Like, that's just weird to me. I mean, there's times, don't get me wrong, I'm watching a video on YouTube and somebody will say or do something and I'll be like, oh, this sucks. You know what I do? I click off the video and go about my day. I have never in my life even considered writing out an essay on a YouTube video. Like, why would I? I don't know the person. What do I give a damn what they got to say or think? If I don't agree with it, I just move along. Like, there's 5 billion other YouTube channels. I guess I just got better stuff to do, in my time. I don't know. But anyway, this other guy, it was a good one. His essay was much longer than this woman's. And you'll never guess what it was that pissed this guy off. And he was, I could tell he was pissed from reading it too, because he was passionate about it. Well, there was a video a few months ago, and I vaguely remember I've talked about bidets numerous times. I am a big fan of the bidet. I got a bidet as a Christmas present back, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago now. And it's a bidet that hooks on it's not like a separate, I think over there in Europe, they've got you take a dump on a commode and then you step over and they've got a separate bidet that washes your hind end. I don't have that. I've got it's a bidet that hooks on, it goes under your toilet seat and connects into the water that goes to your commode, and it's got a knob. And you turn that knob and it hits you right in the stink eye, man. Every daggone time, perfect shot. And so you hose yourself off after taking a crap. It's life-changing, honestly. It's life-changing. You will never walk around with a dirty ass again if you get a bidet. They're amazing. And they're like $100 if you pay full price. They're cheap. So there's no reason not to have one, because the money you're going to save on toilet paper, and you still need some toilet paper, but I use maybe 25% of the amount of toilet paper that I used to use at most. I never buy toilet paper anymore. It lasts forever. Hell, we just had during COVID, you had the damn toilet paper crisis. Nobody could find toilet paper anywhere. You got a bidet, you don't need it. Anyhow, these bidets, they're life-changing. I'm probably the best bidet salesman in the world because I'm passionate about it. I believe in it. I don't even like shaking hands with anybody anymore because when I meet somebody new, I'm just going to assume that they've wiped their ass with that hand. And now I'm shaking it. And you'll never tell me that wiping an ass with toilet paper is going to get you fully clean. If you reach down right now with your hand and grabbed a pile of crap, would you take toilet paper and wipe it off, or would you want to wash your hands? You're going to want to wash your hands, right? Well, it ain't no different with your butthole, folks. You need to wash it off. And the best way to wash it off is with a bidet because you can pressure wash that thing. So anyway, I was talking about that on one of these videos. And I made a comment. I don't remember how I worded it, but I made a comment of something about people. I think I referred to people, something like Neanderthals. Neanderthals was the specific word I'd used because it was in that guy's comment. Neanderthals walking around with dirty asses because they still use toilet paper or something, or wiping their ass like a Neanderthal, something like that. But the comment was I had referred to people who use toilet paper as Neanderthals. Now, now is that insulting to people who use toilet paper as a fish splashes behind us? Sure, maybe. But 99.9% of toilet paper users out there watching that video are not going to be offended by it. Right? Like, even if you are offended, if you think bidets are, I've had people argue with me on bidets like, yeah, but Justin, you're going to run up your water bill using that bidet. I don't know. There ain't a damn bit of difference in my water bill since I started. How dirty is your ass if you're going to run up a water bill? It's a small, narrow stream coming out of that bidet. Like, you sit there 30 seconds, a minute washing yourself. How much water have you used? 8 ounces, 16 ounces of water? It's a small amount of water. Like, you're not running up a water bill unless you got just a really stank ass or something. But if your ass is that stank that a bidet can't clean it, that you're having to use gallons and gallons of water to clean it, listen, toilet paper ain't getting you clean anyway. When you stand in that line at the Walmart or the grocery store, the whole world knows you got a stank ass if that's the case, because you ain't getting clean with toilet paper. But anyway, I made some comment that 99.9% of toilet paper users out there would have just whatever, even if they disagree with me and are firm believers in toilet paper. So what? You go about your day. This guy, though, wrote out a long essay, man. A long essay going on about how he's not a Neanderthal. He uses toilet paper. There's a reason why he's just on and on and on. And dude was just blasting me on there, all because I like to have a clean ass. And I talked about having a clean ass on video. But dude was just triggered, man. And again, that's one of those things, it's like all the stuff I say, when I look at, I'm talking for 4 or 5 hours at a time on these trips. And how many of these videos have I put out now? 100 videos probably of these unedited trips. So 100 videos, let's say, times 4 hours on the, that's 400 plus hours of just me talking. Of course, I'm going to say some stuff from time to time that's maybe a little, if not offensive, at least a little insensitive, let's say. Insensitive, offensive, whatever. Things are going to come. Sometimes maybe I mean it that way if I'm talking about somebody specifically. And other times maybe I mean something in a joking way or just don't mean it in any such a way, but it just gets interpreted that way. It's like the old sexual harassment rules in the workplace. They'd say it's not sexual harassment, it's not what you say, it's how the other person interprets it. Things oftentimes with me, I think, in these videos maybe get interpreted the wrong way, which is fine. I mean, you can interpret things however the hell you want to. That's your prerogative. Everybody interprets things based on their own life experiences and yada, yada, yada. But when you're getting pissed off over some random dude on YouTube that you don't know, that you've never met in your life, when you get pissed off because somebody like me has an opinion on toilet paper that you don't agree with, or because I think that the average 40-year-old woman don't age as well as the average 40-year-old man, and you're so pissed off and so triggered that you go to a comment box and write out paragraphs, man, like you got problems. Like, you need to evaluate your life and what's going on and make some changes, because in that situation, I'm not the problem. You are. Now, I don't care if I did say something that offended you. Hold on, we got a fish back here. This fish, buddy, I never felt him hit. I never felt him hit. The kayak was leaning. Could this be our flathead? I never felt him hit. It feels like a good fish. I never felt him hit, folks. I'm just sitting here talking about these weirdos that plague my comment box, and down goes this rod. The kayak started just leaning. He's still taking line too a little bit. I think he might be rolling. No, I think this might be a blue. I want a flathead so bad today. I want a flathead like Socio Scorpio wants a man. God, that woman. I'm gonna get death threats from that woman. This fish is gonna give me death threats too if I don't get him up here, make him famous on this video. I can't believe I didn't save the... I knew it as soon as I'd done it. I should have screenshotted it. I would have liked to have read you that whole thing of the toilet paper guy. I mean, sometimes you get something like that and you think, oh, they're probably joking. But like, no, that guy, he went on and on about it, and then he's attacking me and stuff, and like he was pissed off about the toilet paper, man. I mean, of all things to be pissed off about, toilet paper. Toilet paper. I mean, you gotta look at your life. You gotta evaluate some things. Like, things ain't going well in your life if that's what you're getting pissed off about. I wish people like that, I wish there was a way to pull up their other comments that they leave on other videos. Like, I wish you could search them exclusively and see what else they're commenting. Not just on my channel, but other channels too. Because I can only imagine what some of the other channels out there get. Oh man, some weeds went through our other line over there. We're gonna have to reel in that front line up there in a minute, because them weeds are working their way down the line as we speak. I'm gonna deal with the fish in hand right now though. I think this has got potential to be the biggest fish of the morning so far. He feels good. I think it's probably a blue, but the fact it hit without me feeling it, maybe it has a chance of being a flathead. I thought I felt rolling at one point in the fight here. Should be getting close. Yeah, it is a blue, and it is the biggest one of the morning. All right. Quality's getting better, folks. Quality still, it's improving. All right, man. All right. And this one's skinny for his size, but definitely an upgrade over what we've been getting here. What y'all Won't y'all reel in out of the line over there with the grass all over it while I deal with this fish? Help me out. Hell, y'all too busy trying to find old Scorpio. Give her a call at that bait shop, buddy. Her next comment's gonna be talking about how she met the man of her dreams because of my YouTube video. Come here, fish. You're a pretty good fish right here now. That's pretty good, folks. If this fish would fill out a little bit here, this would be a really quality fish. It's got the length. He's just skinny. Nice. Let me set y'all back up there a minute. All right, fish. Yeah, look how skinny that fish is for its length right there, man. That's probably, I mean, I'd guesstimate 38-inch to 40-inch fish, but just super skinny. Got a big ugly mouth on it too, don't it? Nice. Nice fight. Best fish of the morning thus far. Odd bite. If he hit it, I didn't know. I'm just flapping my gums and all of a sudden I feel leaning in the kayak. That's the best feeling in the world when that happens. Love that feeling. See you, buddy. There you go. All right, man, I'll fist pump that one there. Definitely getting better quality. We're gonna put another bait on and drop it down on this one. We've got to reel in. I saw that clump of grass go around my line and I saw it just making its way down there. So it's probably down there near our baits at this point. That current will just keep pushing that grass down and you'll end up with a bunch of just clump of grass right there all around your bait. And that is no good. These catfish, they don't want no salad with their skipjack. Can't blame them. All right, let's do this. Let's get our other bait back down there first. I think too, we'll take a look at these other baits. So we may end up just switching everything out while we reel up. That may be what we end up doing. Probably be a good time to do it. I can't remember how long it's been since we switched out that head bait, but it's probably time it needs to be done. We'll leave I'm gonna reel up the goldfish just to make sure there's not weeds all over the line. But as long as it's still on there, we'll send it back down. Nothing we can do about that. Don't have any more live baits to switch it out with, so that one's either gonna get eat or it ain't. I may end up getting some more goldfish though, man. I may. In my mind, I'm thinking, I wonder how small a tank I could have to grow them things. Because I had thought about getting a live bait tank once upon a time, but I just never did because I don't use live bait enough to justify the hassle of it. Oh hell, our bait's gone on that one. Fish knocked it off. All we had on that one was salad. There was no way we was catching fish. Okay, well we already got a head bait cut back here. I wonder how that happened. They must have knocked that thing off. Okay, let's cut them fins there. Well, I can cut it. There we go. Down it goes. Where it stops, we all know. Yeah. The other one's definitely got to be switched out. But yeah, I'd consider that now is like, if I can keep them 3 goldfish alive in a 5-gallon bucket for almost a week without changing the water, no filter in there, nothing. I'm like, could I get a 50-gallon tub or something and buy like 10 goldfish at a time, 20 goldfish at a time, and let them things grow? And how fast do they grow? Like how, oh boy, look at all that mess. Yeah, that's what I saw go around our line while we was fighting the other fish. That bait there still looks good. We'll go ahead and switch it though. Might as well, since we got it up here. Of course, I don't know. Look at that right there. It's still got all that. I see all that blood. I'm gonna reuse that bait. That one's a nice, that's that piece of meat that's right behind the skipjack head. The head and the piece of meat behind the head back to the dorsal fin is always my favorite parts. We're gonna drop it back down. I think that's gonna be okay. I think we'll get bit on that again. We'll give it a little while. If not, we'll switch it out then. Main thing is we got the grass off the line. That's what's gonna prevent us from catching a fish, is getting that grass off there. We'll reel in our goldfish here next, and I think we'll be back in business. I don't see anything else coming at us here at the moment. I'm wondering, hell, we may not have a goldfish on. Our goldfish may be gone. He's gone. We've been robbed again. We've been sitting down there with a bare hook and didn't even know it. I can see what got him too. We're all slimed up. It must have hit while we were fighting another fish or something. Well, hell far, it means we had 2 hooks down there. Our head bait was gone and the goldfish was gone. We've been sitting down there just fishing on credit. Goodness gracious, y'all are the worst fishing partners I ever had. Bad enough you get in my comment box and complain about toilet paper and not being 44, not being able to keep a man. But now you letting us fish on credit, man. I gotta find me some better fishing partners. If nothing else, these people that comment, I don't know what they think they're trying to accomplish with me complaining. It's a comment box, not the complaint box, so I'm not gonna change how I do things because some snowflake got melted. But it does provide us with some material of some funny stuff to talk about when these people get upset about the dumbest things. Oh, okay. I saw that other clump of grass going right there. I thought we was about to have to reel up again after I just lowered it down. I think I feel it starting to sprinkle again. You know what else I need to do? I need to get a new towel here. This thing is disgusting. That thing is nasty as all get out. I need to wash it or get a new one. I think I'm gonna take these sunglasses off here now. It's cloudy, but it was kind of bright. I'm in between sunglasses or no sunglasses, y'all. It does feel like it's starting to mist a little bit again. Just a light sprinkle. Yeah, well, on one hand, I hate when somebody does something stupid in the comment box, I hate to promote it in a sense, because then that just encourages other idiots to show up in the comment box. But at the same time too, it's like, if you're going to write an essay in a public space like that, you're probably going to get made fun of by me. I mean, there's a good chance it's going to happen. I just wish they'd sign their names to it. Every time I get some comment that's either just blasting me or they're complaining about something, it's always some screen name. And it's a stupid screen name too, like Socio Scorpio. Like, that's stupid. Oh, what a dumb screen name. Like, nobody will ever put their real name to anything. Like, I promise you, we could have found this woman a date on this video today if she'd just put her name on there. We could have got some extra business at her bait shop. I'd have promoted them on here. I'd have told everybody exactly where she was at if she'd put the name of the bait shop on there. Whoever the owner is that won't let her turn the channel, they would have sent me a thank you card for all the extra business I would have sent them. But she missed an opportunity. She wanted to be all anonymous about it. Whether you love me or you hate me, folks, one thing I will do on these videos is put my name on it, as they say. I will say whatever story I'm trying to tell or whatever. It's me saying it. I'm not hiding behind a anonymous handle there on the YouTube comment box. You know who I am. I mean, I got a YouTube channel name, but hell, everybody knows my name. You've been hearing it for years. You see my face, like I own it. So that's the problem in society today. Everybody's behind a computer and a screen name. Nobody puts a name on it anymore. This woman, if she'd just put her name and number there, I guarantee you, we'd have found her the man of her dreams. We'd have had 90,000 men seeing her plea. This fish is about to make a plea to get me to let it go here. Is he still on there? I think he may still be on there. Has he got it? Oh, he's let go. I thought maybe he'd got it and come up in the water column with it, but I'm imagining things, I guess. I'm imagining things like that woman's imagining she's gonna find a man in her horoscope. You know, the only Scorpio that I can think of that was worth a damn, it was a very underrated Scorpio too. You remember that wrestler back in the 90s? Too Cold Scorpio? Now that was a good Scorpio. That fellow there, he is underrated. He is a pretty good wrestler. Hold on, we got more weeds going by over here. I'm trying to work the rods around it. Too Cold Scorpio. Not sociopath Scorpio. Too Cold Scorpio. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of wrestling though this past week. The old matches, not the new crap. I tried watching Monday Night Raw, the newest one that come out there while I was stuck at home. And it started out okay, but man, 15 minutes into the show, you're like, this ain't like wrestling in the 80s and 90s, back when it was good. You can't go back in time. I don't know that you can ever get that back. It's popular now. I mean, the arenas that they were in was full. They got that big TV deal. WWE Monday Night Raw is supposed to be going to Netflix this winter. They had that deal with Fox for the other show there, the SmackDown show, for a long time. So, I mean, they're making some money on wrestling. I just think it ain't a good product to watch anymore. It's I guess it is maybe more so for kids now. But when I was a kid, I think it was geared more toward adults. Of course, when I was a real small kid, nobody knew wrestling was fake. Or, you can't say fake. Nobody knew it was scripted, predetermined. My great-grandmother went to the grave thinking wrestling was real. I mean, I've told stories about her. That's how I learned to be a wrestling fan when I was little. She'd keep me. I learned every cuss word I know from watching my grandma watch wrestling. She hated Ric Flair, she hated Jim Cornette, and she would sit there and yell at that TV set and cuss them out, tell Jim Cornette what she was going to do to him with that tennis racket and where she was going to stick it. And I learned a lot as a small child. I mean, I'm talking 4 or 5 years old. I had a whole cuss word vocabulary, all because of my great-grandma. And she just knew it was real. Like, you couldn't tell her otherwise. But over the course of time, things come out and the whole world realizes that it's scripted television. But it's still watchable because the storyline's awesome. You had Stone Cold Steve Austin and D-Generation X and The Rock. In WCW, you had NWO going on. That was the Attitude Era there in the late 90s. And even though the whole world knew it was scripted television, it was still, the storyline was so good. You had these stars, man, it was worthwhile. It was worth watching. Ratings were at all-time highs there on their show. Well, then they tried to walk it back and go PG when Vince McMahon's wife, Linda McMahon, she was running for some public office up there, senator or Congress or something. I don't think she ever won. But they toned the show back a little bit, and it just became unwatchable, in my opinion. And you still had, even though the show wasn't any good, you still had enough stars back then that I would still watch. I went to WrestleMania. I went to 2 WrestleManias. One in Atlanta and one in Miami. I can't remember which was first. That would have been, I don't know, 2012 or 13 probably. So the show wasn't particularly good back then, but you still at least had some stars. You had The Undertaker still wrestling at a high level. You had John Cena, CM Punk. Triple H was still wrestling. Like, you had some stars. You get now, Undertaker's gone. John Cena's at the tail end of his career. Triple H is in the front office now. He can't wrestle no more. Heart problem or whatever. Who's left to wrestle? You got CM Punk, who's injured all the time. He's great on the promo. He can wrestle. But who are you going to put him against? There's nobody there on the show for him to wrestle. It's worth a damn. And then the other show, AEW, it's awful, but it's got MJF, who's probably the best wrestler currently in present day times. I would say anyway. I mean, he can talk. He does a hell of a promo. If you think I insult people, listen to MJF on the promo as I cough into your ear. I got something hung in my throat here. Bear with me, y'all. We unedited. You try talking for 4 hours and things go wrong. But MJF is a hell of a promo on the microphone, and he can wrestle. But who can you put him against? Because there's nobody else on that show that's worth a damn. So the show is unwatchable. And that's kind of where we're at with wrestling today. It's like it's on TV. It's apparently popular with the kids. They sell a bunch of merchandise. They sell tickets to the live shows. But I have no desire to watch it. If I watch wrestling now, and I do, I watched a bunch of it here while I was stuck at home with all the rain. But I'm going back in time. I'm watching stuff from the 90s. I got on an Ultimate Warrior kick. When I was a kid, I liked the Ultimate, whoa, that's a takedown. All right, here's just another one on the chunk. We got a bunch more debris floating down here. This one's gonna pull too now. All right, folks. We're definitely today, I mean, I'm impressed with the numbers of fish today. We've definitely probably benefited from the current more so than the location. I think that just having flow, being able to get your scent downriver it's huge. That's so helpful. It doesn't change how I'm setting up on this spot at all. We're still here at the bottom of the drop, right in front of this creek mouth. I would have done that whether we had flow or not, fishing this spot. But having that flow is definitely helps fish find your bait that's maybe downriver from here, while still allowing you to catch fish that are working in and out of the creek or up and down on the ledge. I can't tell if this fish is in my back line or if I've got another fish after that back line. I think this one's in it. Y'all let these fish get tangled. Yeah, he's in that line. Oh, Lord. Could have done without that. One of you's lost a shoe and a tennis ball. That's somebody's dog toys right there. Hell, if I could have grabbed that ball, Daphne had had her a new toy today. She needs a new toy. You talk about being pent up, man. That dog being stuck in the house with all the rain, because it was a relentless rain. Like, we didn't get the monsoons that they got up in the mountains and stuff, but it was continuous rain for days. And Daphne, she's a diva. She don't want to go out in the rain. So she's just stuck in the house, all energetic, just pent up. She's been miserable. Thankfully, it's been dry and in spurts the last day or two. It wasn't an all-out, it didn't rain all day yesterday or nothing, you know. She's able to get out some. But boy, I tell you, she's been something else. She's a handful when she don't get to get outside and go run. I have to run her hard twice a day, minimum, to keep her behavior under control. And this fish here, his behavior, if he don't come out of that line, his behavior is going to be under control too, because I'm going to put a knot on his head. This fish's head will be swole up like a lot of these women's lips that's using that lip filler stuff. Come over here, fish. We got lines going everywhere, and you just had to go back there and get in that other line, didn't you? You just had to. You said, Justin, it's been too long since you had a tangle out here today. You said, that poor woman that's waiting on the man of her dreams there at the bait shop, she'd like to see a tangle. And this fish delivered. Come out of that line there, fish. There we go. Okay. Yeah, folks, that right there, I ain't going to put it front camera back up, but I'll try to hold it out there best I can. I mean, that's another fun sizer. A little bit thicker than some of the other comparable length fun sizers that we've had today. But quality fish, man. Fun to catch. Hard pulling. That's all you can ask for. Hard pulling, fun fish to catch. That's what I want to have every time I go fishing. It's fun. I could do without a tangle, though, I'll tell you that. Lord. Call it slime on there. I can't see exactly where the tangle is. If y'all's a good fishing partner, you didn't have this squared away while I was getting rid of the fish there. There we go. All right, now we're cooking with Crisco here. Shouldn't be cooking with Crisco though. It'll run up your cholesterol. I don't think that's healthy to cook with Crisco. I may be getting a tangle out and making it worse here. Nope. See, when you're a professional like I am, them tangles, they undo themselves. Miracles happen, folks. It'll look like a miracle, but really, it's just a professional at work. Reel in this, make sure it didn't get knocked off while the hoopla was going on with that fish. No, we're still good. I'll send that back down. And we'll put another bait on that front rod. Yeah, I'm impressed with the number of fish we're getting here today, huh? Well above the 1 fish per hour average that I would typically hope for. Let's get a cutting board here. We got this other head piece. Do I want to? The head just ain't been messed with much, has it? Let's go ahead and, I'm gonna get down in my cooler here. I had this other head piece cut and was sitting here on top. I put part of these skipjack down in the ice, and I had part of them sitting on top last night, and we've gone through the ones that was sitting on top now, other than that one final head, so I may have to end up making another bait run this afternoon, potentially. Me and the girlfriend's getting our toes done tonight, but I may have to be like, darling, them Asian women are gonna have to wait because we got to go get bait. I'd hope to have enough for 2 days. I may. We'll see what we end up with here. Time I leave today. At least they were, if the bite's still today like it was yesterday, they were easy to get from the bank there. So that'd be encouraging. But the way the bait's been this year, it's been, you get on them one day and they go on the next. Been a weird year for bait. I've had to cover a lot of miles to be able to get bait. I think we got more rain. Look over yonder. You see that? Is that rain right over there? It looks like it, don't it? It looks like a pretty good rain shower too. Give me a second here, y'all. Let me get this bait lower back down. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you, I think we're about to get wet. Look right yonder there. That direction. Now look back over here. I swear that looks like rain right there, a couple 100 yards ahead of us. Because back here, it don't look like that. I don't know how well that's showing up on camera. We'll know here in a few minutes if we get wet. Maybe it's going the other way. We've got that umbrella here handy just in case. Here comes some more grass floating down the river here too. I'll stand up here a second. It's just clumps, man. It's clumps of grass and that stuff. It gets on your line and it just causes all kinds of problems when you're trying to suspend. Well, it don't matter what kind of fishing you're doing, actually. We could be sitting here anchored, cast baits out. It's still, Once it wraps around your lines, it'll just work its way down to the hook and just be all over your bait. I think we're good here. I think we dodged most of it. I don't know how long it'll take to get the river back to normal. Obviously, the lower end of the Tennessee River will still be going on for a while as the water from the top makes its way down. But up here on the top portion of the Tennessee River, I don't know how long it will take for all that water from the mountains to work through. Like, I don't know. A few days at least for sure. But I'm sure they'll be tinkering with our water level and whatnot and all that in the meantime. I don't know where I'll fish at tomorrow. I may bust out the dragon rods or something, or dragon rigs, and maybe try dragging tomorrow, maybe get back in a creek, start toward the back of it and drag my way out and see if some fish have pushed up in there maybe. It's a possibility. We'll see how the mood strikes me tomorrow. I'll wake up and just go do what I want to do. That's what I usually do, man. It's a hell of a way to live. I think that is rain, and I think it's going the other way. Looks like it's getting farther away now. But it's nice to be back out on the water. I enjoyed my time off. I was telling my channel members this on that channel members video, that oftentimes if I wake up on a day where the weather's nice and I've got bait and maybe I'm on a good bite, but maybe for whatever reason that particular day I just don't want to go fishing, or I want to do something else. If I do go do something else, while I'm trying to do it, I will be thinking about the fact I should be out trying to fish and make a video. Because how many days do you get in a calendar year where you have good weather, good fishing conditions, you have bait, where the stars have aligned for you, right? So it's hard for me to enjoy taking a day off, to just take a day off when the conditions are good. It just weighs on the back of my mind. That's a nice takedown. That's a nice takedown right there. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, he nailed that thing, buddy. Out of nowhere, just boom. On the chunk again. The chunk has definitely outperformed the head by a country mile. Nice, man. I think this is going to be a blue too. Usually them blues hit it hard like that. The flathead bites are a little bit more, you'll oftentimes feel them, or you'll see your rod tip go clump, where the flathead inhales the bait, and they'll sit there. And they'll sit there for a while sometimes. The blues almost always hit it and run. This one was definitely running. He was full speed as soon as he got that bait. I think it's going to be at least another fun sizer. At least. I should be about up here now to get a look at him. Should be getting close. Yep, that's another one, comparable size, going nuts over here. I bet you this fish is astrological sign Scorpio. I guarantee it. We're going to have to play this one out a minute. It's done got me soaking wet here. Here I was thinking about that rain coming this way, and this fish is like, Justin, I got your rain. Boy, he's wound. Yeah, we're gonna play this one out a minute. This one's too spry to be brought in right now. Golly bum, he got water down in my boot. I feel it running down there in my sock. Fish said, Justin, you need to wash your feet tonight before you go have an Asian woman clip your toenails. You about calm down now, fish? You about ready to act like somebody over here? I'm gonna show you off to the 35 people still watching. Boy, something was going on behind us over here too. Something was busting shad over here behind us. There's some bait out here in the middle of the river right now. You'd think some bait might be up there in the shallows and whatnot, but it seems like there's quite a bit of bait out here in the river. I guess all this stuff washing down, all this grass and stuff, it makes sense that there's some shad out here taking advantage of that. This fish still ain't done. He still ain't ready to calm down. He's going to whether he wants to or not. I'm about done with you, fish. I'm ready to put another bait on. This fish says he don't care what I want. Boy, you got that stinger in the back too, didn't you, fish? There you go. Yeah, that's another fun size length. Skinny fish, powerful fish though. I feel like I'm getting wet. Here comes some more rain, man. It's all around us, folks. That rain is hell-bent on getting us wet today. Back to just a little mist. It's been good on my grass seed though. I'd put out some grass seed a couple weeks ago when it had some rain in the forecast, and it didn't end up raining then. It was just a sprinkle we got. I thought, boy, I put that seed down at the wrong time. But all this rain from the hurricane, again, we got a bunch of rain in my house, but it was a steady rain. It wasn't a monsoon, so it wasn't enough to like wash the seed down the hill or anything. And so that grass started sprouting up everywhere the last couple days. Okay, now I think we're ready to put another bait on. Yeah, this is fun, man. We're catching some fish today. This is a good day. Didn't know what to expect coming out here. Could have went either way. But thankfully, things have gone our way today. I'm still waiting on that monster, but hell, I've been waiting on that monster my whole life. Like that woman at the bait shop waiting on a man, just waiting. I'm gonna catch so much hell for giving her so much hell. She brought it on herself though. All you people want to write essays in my comment box, you probably gonna get made fun of and blasted on this channel, folks. That's just the way it is. Hopefully I'll be the motivation for y'all to change your lives, change your ways. Quit writing essays in people's comment boxes. Yeah, I was telling my channel members there, if we got a day that weather's nice, I've got bait, the fish are biting, and I just, for whatever reason, maybe want to go do something else that day. It always weighs on me, the back of my mind, like, Justin, you only get so many days like this a year. You need to take advantage. You need to make sure you get content and stuff. And so it ends up being hard for me to enjoy whatever it was that I was wanting to do, wanting to enjoy. But when we have situations like the last several days where you've had rain and high winds and just not only not good kayak fishing conditions, but not good filming conditions either, when I'm home in that situation, like, there's nothing hanging over me. Like, it's just, it's a day off. It's truly a day off. And I know that's weird. It sounds weird me saying that. Like, because I know how good I have it being able to do this YouTube stuff for a living. Like, I realize how good I have it. I don't want to make it sound like I'm whining or complaining. I'm not. I realize I've got it made. But from just the aspect of feeling like there's always something to be done, always hanging over you, like back when I was still working as a nurse doing my regular job, the job itself, there were stressful days, clearly, but when I was off, I was off. I'd go in, I'd pull my 12 hours, and when I clocked out of work that day, I was done. When I was off work, like, I was off work. With this, and any of y'all out there that are self-employed or you own your own business or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. There's always something to be done. Like, there's always emails, phone calls, something for work related that you got to be doing all the time. Like, there's always something to be done. You're never ever really just truly done. If that makes sense. I know it sounds silly, but anyway, we've had these few days of foul weather. I was a few videos ahead, so I had a cushion so I could take the time off. And it was kind of nice. I'm ready to get back out here now, though. I mean, being cooped up in the house with that dog all energetic and stuff, it's been a little much, but just sleeping in, because I knew the weather was going to be bad, you know, just sleep in, get up, watch old wrestling matches, G.I. Joe cartoons. I mean, just having a snow day. Remember when you're a kid and you get out of school because it's going to snow or something, and you sit there on the couch eating potato chips, just being a lazy bum. That's me the last few days. Watching them wrestling matches, boy, it sure made me miss the old days. Made me realize how dumb I was as a kid, too. I think I might have started to talk about it earlier and got sidetracked by fish or something, but I was talking about the Ultimate Warrior. As a kid, I was an Ultimate Warrior fan. I was probably 7, 8 years old, I guess, maybe, when the Ultimate Warrior was kind of at his peak. And back then, man, he had the face paint, he had the ropes around his arms, he would come down to the ring. He had the best entrance song back in the 80s. And his music would hit, and he would come running down the ring full sprint, and he'd be shaking the ropes and carrying on. Man, as an 8-year-old kid, like, Ultimate Warrior was the bee's knees, man. But now, you watch his matches now as an adult, and you're like, boy, this guy was awful. Like, he had the look. He looked like a pro wrestler. But his promos were legendarily bad. I mean, his promos, Ultimate Warrior, don't click off this video, but if you're bored sometime and you want to see something, like, click on the Ultimate Warrior, some of his promos from back in the 80s, man. It was next level awful. And his matches, like, he couldn't wrestle worth a lick. I mean, unless it was a squash match. Oh, another takedown, back rod. Oh, he's going to take a little line too now. Oh boy, that's a nice takedown. I can't get the rod out the dang rod hole. There we go. Okay. Another fish here, another nice takedown. Boy, we've just caught fish consistently all morning long out here. I mean, it's not, sometimes you get on a bite and you'll have a window where it's like the bite. I think the last trip out last week there, I had a triple. I had 3 fish on at once, and like, that was as good as it got the whole trip. But today it's been just steady fish catching for however the hell long we've been out here now. I need to look at the timer on the camera here in a minute and see where we're at. I may be running low on battery. But this is nice, man. I love it when you have days like this. Steady fish catching, temperature's comfortable. It's gonna be like in the 70s today for highs. I mean, it's perfect. Couldn't ask for, other than getting a little wet, I mean, besides that, you couldn't ask for a better day. And honestly, this little drizzle that we've had, the good thing about it is it keeps the pleasure boaters off the water. I'm filming this on a Monday anyway, so you won't see a lot of pleasure boaters out today, at least during the morning hour. Boy, this fish is pulling, man. He's taking back off. But I mean, we've had the water to ourselves out here today. It's been nice. Got the water to yourself, comfortable temperatures, big takedowns like this. I think this has got potential to be the biggest fish of the day. Definitely got potential for it. It's been a nice fight. Confident it's going to be a blue. All blues today, no flathead. That's one thing we could have today that would be a welcome sight, would be a flathead. It could happen at any time too. Oh, he got in my front line. You knucklehead. We were doing so good. He got in it there. Yeah, another fun size. He ain't gonna be the biggest of the day, but it is a quality fish. He's all up in that front line. We're gonna have another mess y'all gonna have to clean out. By the time this video ends today, you see me pick out all these tangles. Y'all gonna be professional tangle pullers too. You're gonna be professional tangle pullers, and you're gonna have you a new woman with that woman there at the bait shop if we can figure out which shop she's at. She's gonna have a lot of suitors. Come here, fish, before you get wrapped up in it anymore. I can't tell how bad he's done it. Goodness gracious. Come here, fishy. Man, that was a nice takedown. I really thought, well, I was having trouble getting the rod out the rod holder on this one. I really thought like this one was going to be the biggest of the day, but it's not. Fun times nonetheless, but not the biggest of the day. Good fish though. Let's see what we can do with him here. Now he's wanting to roll. Twist up that line some more, why don't you? Okay, let's get hold of you, bring you in before you embarrass yourself anymore here, fish. Why don't you talk to us there? Why don't you say something offensive for once, Blue Cat? Let the comment box light into you one time instead of me. Where's he done? We got lines going everywhere here. I don't know where all these lines are going. What are we gonna do with you, fish? You've got that all wrapped around you. Let me step on that line and we'll just pull you out of it. I will give you a little front camera time though, fish. That was a hell of a takedown. Y'all set up there and take a picture of this fish, would you? It'll make his day. There we go. Another just fun size length, but skinny for its size. That's kind of been the theme of the day. All these fish have been skinny today. All of them have been, every one of them. Good time though, man, good time. Could have done without the tangle fish, but thanks for the good time. I hope this is one we're going to be able to pick out without having to cut anything. I'm not too optimistic though. He did his death swirl there, death spiral, whatever you want to call it. Let's get our salad mix off there first. Boy, how'd he do that? Okay, this ain't gonna be too bad at all. He just got it all spun around here. As long as another fish don't hit this front rod while I've got this in my hand, we're gonna be okay on this one. Some tangles worse than others. That one fish there earlier tied a damn Boy Scout knot. We ought to get that fish a Cub Scout badge for what he had done to that other line up there. But this one, that one there, wasn't too terribly bad as that thing of grass goes by. I hope grass ain't got no other lines while I was fighting that fish. Another one on the chunk though. Boy, the heads have just, the head bait has not performed well today at all. The chunks and the goldfish, while we had them, although the goldfish was catching smaller quality fish compared to the ones that the chunk has gotten, but limited sample size. It don't matter to me ultimately what they hit to. I just want to catch them. My days off there, chilling out at the house, it was nice to have some R&R. Makes me appreciate when I do get back on the water. You do something all the time, you start to take it for granted a little bit, but you do it sporadically, you tend to appreciate it a little more. That's why I try not to carp fish all the time, because I really enjoy it. But I know if I do it all the time, I'll start to lose that a little bit. So I try to just occasionally do the carp fishing. I need to get back out there. And here's what I'm really concerned about when I get the new kayak, is how I'm gonna put those power pole mounts, my anchor poles for the carp fishing. What am I gonna do with those? I've got it made on this kayak as far as how I've got it set up, because they're mounted here to these, my power pole mounts are here on this A-trail. I've just got a board. I don't know how I'm gonna do that on the new kayak. I'm gonna have to figure out something. That's gonna take a little time. So that's the thing that I dislike about getting a new kayak. That's why you see me typically, when I get a kayak rigged up how I want it, I fish out of it for a long time, because it's such a pain to get something set up how you want, where it's functional and sturdy enough to hold up to, say, for rod holders, for instance, with catfish, or setting up these anchor pole mounts for the carp fishing. When you get something set up, like, I'm gonna ride it out for a while, because I'm not good at DIY stuff really. Like, I can do it, and if I put enough thought into it, I can jimmy rig something on. You give me some PVC and some duct tape, and I'll figure out a way. But it takes me a lot more mental energy than I think other people who are good at MacGyvering things. Y'all remember that show, MacGyver? That was another 80s classic. I was never really into it as a kid, but it had a cult-like following. I'm surprised that show doesn't come back on. Maybe it does. Now that I've talked about it, it'll probably pop up on YouTube, because they're always listening through our phones to everything we say and do. That's how I got back into the G.I. Joes, because I'd talked about it one day, and next thing I know, everything on YouTube's G.I. Joe. I'm really into the cartoons though. Like, I watched several of them, these last few days. When I was a kid, I had the G.I. Joe action figures and I loved them, but I never watched the cartoon. We didn't have the channel that come on. So I didn't really get all the storyline. And I never really was into the comic book, the G.I. Joe comic book. I was just super into the toys. I made my own adventures with them instead of having the TV show and the comic book to go on. I did watch the G.I. Joe movie, I'm pretty sure, back in the day. I watched it again recently too, it was good. But man, the cartoon, and I'm not, as an adult, like, I'm not into cartoons. Sometimes I'll try to go back and watch a cartoon that I would have watched as a kid, like the Smurfs or Thundercats, something like that. And you try watching them now as an adult, and it's like, man, the show moves so slow, it was so dumb. I mean, it wasn't dumb at the time, but just now, it's, as an adult, you can't watch it. But like, the G.I. Joe cartoons, as an adult, I can get into them. And Netflix had made He-Man. And I'd watched the first season of it. I need to watch the second season of it. There may be more seasons by now, but I know they'd done 2 seasons of He-Man, where they had redone it. And it was awesome. And so, those 2 cartoons, He-Man and G.I. Joe, I can get into. Most cartoons I can't. Most of my YouTube watching time, it's wrestling matches. Well, nowadays it's the G.I. Joe cartoon, because they have every episode of G.I. Joe on the Hasbro channel. I watch a lot of Joe Rogan clips, Sean Ryan. The Joe Rogan episode with Sean Ryan, that was great. Because I like both of those guys. Those 2 together, man, they just feed off each other. That was a great episode. I watch that. I watch very little fishing videos. Very little. Occasionally we'll watch a fishing video. Now, I was watching Brandon's channel there, Fins and Talons, when he had the hawk. I was training it, but I guess he's going to get him another hawk. He had to buy him some more supplies because that hawk flew off with all his gear. Hopefully somebody else will find his bird and be able to call it in or trap it or something. Or if they just see it, he can go out there and try to trap it. But yeah, I don't watch a lot of that stuff on YouTube. In this time of year, football season, I'll watch a lot of like, I'm a big Colin Cowherd fan, so I'll watch clips of his show. If I don't get to watch the show, if I'm not home by noon, like today, I'm not going to be home in time to catch the show. But I'll watch the clips from it, and I'll watch his podcast he does too. He does one like once a week with Nick Wright, and he does one with John Middlecoff. I'll watch that. But yeah, I love going fishing, but I'm not really into watching fishing. Now, I watched fishing videos as a kid. Bill Dance would be on, Roland Martin, Hank Parker. And I have fond memories of that, watching fishing videos as a kid there on Saturday mornings. But now that I'm on this side of the camera as an adult, and I see that basically every Bill Dance fishing video ever made was just a commercial for whatever lure company was sponsoring for that trip. Now it kind of, here comes the rain again too. Now it kind of takes away from those shows. Like if you watch an old episode of Bill Dance or something, and like, this is just a 22-minute long commercial. That's all it is. And I'm not trying to disrespect Bill Dance. I mean, he's the most famous fisherman of all time. I mean, people that don't even go fishing recognize Bill Dance. He paved the way for making fishing shows cool, make it relevant, So I'm grateful for him for that, and I loved his show as a kid. So I don't want to come across like I'm disrespecting him in any way. I don't mean it that way. But I just mean it as the format of the show. Back then in my younger days, I didn't realize how it was, but now being on this side of things, you just kind of realize like, oh, well, that's, every one of those TV shows had a sponsor, and every one of them was a 22-minute long commercial. 30-minute episodes, but you got 8 minutes of commercials per 30-minute episode, so. Yeah, I just ain't into fishing videos. Unless I'm trying to learn something. I don't really find fishing, I guess because I spent so much time, this year I haven't, well, I did do some editing the last few days while I've been at home. For my second channel, I took some of my longer unedited videos, edited them down to put on the Kayak Catfish Highlights channel. I did do that, but I haven't done much editing this year. But I think just all the hours I spent behind the computer the last several years that I've been doing YouTube. And every time you do an edited video, when you're done, you got to watch it back to make sure that you didn't leave in something that wasn't supposed to be in there. Just watching that, I don't like watching myself at all anyway, but just having to watch fishing videos all the time for that, it just kind of ruined watching fishing videos for me. Just don't have a desire to do it. Unless I'm trying to learn something, unless I'm trying to learn a specific technique or a type of fish. Like I'll probably watch some Louisiana videos here over the next week to kind of get ready for that trip, just to see what type of fish I might have an opportunity to catch this time of year down there, and if there's any kind of specific lures or tackle I need to take. I may, you want to go down there with at least having some planning done. The catfishing part, I mean, I'm going to do down there what I do here. I'm going to try to find some form of deep water structure to fish if the current will allow us to get out there in the river channel. And if I'm stuck fishing a bayou because of wind or current or barge traffic or whatever, then I'll probably just cover water and drag and try to run into some fish and hopefully hook some fish and not hook alligators. If I hook an alligator, God help me. I probably should take some extra underwear on this trip, because I sure don't want to pull in no big lizard. And I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of big lizards down there in Louisiana this time of year, and it's still good and warm down there, still hot. I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of big lizards out. Probably a lot of snakes too. I don't like snakes or alligators. But if we get on some big cats and get on a lot of them, it's going to be worth the drive. 9 hours ain't a bad trip either if you break it up over 2 days. Like, I'm just thinking, I drive part of the way down Monday evening, spend a night, hotel somewhere on the way, and then drive the rest of the way the next day. You're really only doing 4.5, 5 hours a day. And so that's not too bad at all. One year coming back from the Keys, I can't remember if it was last year or year before, I drove the whole way. Like 13 hours. And that was pretty miserable. Like, I mean, I got a bunch of y'all that watch these videos that are truck drivers. And I've had some truck drivers explain to me, like, one, you get used to it, I guess. And two, the trucks you all are driving are, I guess they're more comfortable. They're not bouncing down the highway as much as a smaller size vehicle, so maybe it's a little bit more comfortable on you. But I can't imagine driving as much as you all drive, doing these cross-country trips and stuff, and even those of you that are truck drivers that aren't going cross-country, like you're doing same-day trips. You drive, pick up a load, come back. I mean, still, your whole day is spent in the cab of that truck. Like, that's got to be tough. It's definitely got to take a toll on your body sitting that much. I mean, I know if I sit in the kayak too much, and most of my trips are 4, 5, 6 hours long at the most. Like, I'm not all day like y'all are you truck drivers. But just if I fish 3 or 4 days in a row and I've done 4 or 5 hours a day in the kayak seat, like I can feel it, my butt and my back. So I can imagine what you all feel like out there. Doing that week after week, year after year, it's got to take its toll. And I'd say it's hard too when you're on the road and oh hell, here's a jet ski. When you're on the road, especially if you're doing like cross-country multi-day trips, you can't really work out unless you've got your own exercise routine or something, but you can't. I imagine driving them trucks, it's hard. You can't just pull in just anywhere. You know, and if maybe you got like a Planet Fitness membership or a Gold's Gym, some major chain of a gym membership, maybe you could find a place like that while you're on the road, but it's got to be a pain in the ass pulling that big rig into a parking lot. So it's got to be hard. It's got to be difficult to maintain a workout routine. And me, I work out about every day, but I do a series of exercises at home, keep myself in shape. Push-ups, crunches, squats, jumping jacks. This fish is doing a jumping jack. He's got it. This fish, so he's gonna get his workout in playing tug of war with me. He said he's gonna do a full body workout trying to swim away while I do a bicep curl here to reel him in. I need to measure my arms. I bet you, from the fish I reel in, I bet you my left bicep is bigger than my right. I better not do it on video though. The 10% of you out there that are women, probably watching with your boyfriends and husbands right now, you'll be wanting to leave your man for me if you saw my left bicep was bigger than my right. I'd be wrecking marriages. They'd call me a home wrecker. I guarantee you that woman at the bait shop's calling me far worse than a home wrecker today. You know she's gonna see this video too, because she's tied to that chair, forced to watch me. Oh, we finally got one on the fly here, folks. Take a look. The old fly fish. The fly struck again. Don't you fling that bait off the hook either there, blue kitty. Come over here, give me that fly back. I thought today with the current, we might have a chance at one at the fly, and lo and behold, it's happened. You can see there, you can see where he's hooked. He got it right in the mouth. That ain't a snag or an accidental. That's the real deal. It's in there good too. You don't want to give it back apparently. There we go. Oh, small kitty. Another skinny one. That is the goldfish patterned fly, which you would think with us using the live goldfish that are the same color. I started using, when I first put these dang flies on, I was using a white color fly. And I had Daniel there make me some. And he made a variety of colors. Now I tried them all out, but I was catching more fish, and I was catching both my biggest blue and biggest flatheads on the flies were on the goldfish pattern. And so now that's about all I use. I don't even try the other colors now. I just developed a lot of confidence in it. And so that's kind of what I've stuck with. I'm gonna have to bust out my sunglasses again, y'all. That sun up there, it's trying its best to pop out. These things wiped off. A little rain drizzle we had a few minutes ago, got them. That and the fish splashing here done got us all soaking wet. Need some windshield wipers on my glasses. Seems like when we were kids, you could find some of those. I remember there was a skit, I guess you'd call it, on wrestling that I watched the other day. Remember when D-Generation X come out and they was arguing with Sergeant Slaughter? And Sergeant Slaughter, he'd get in their face and talk, and they pulled out that mask and it had the windshield wipers on it, and they would pull the lever and it would swing the windshield wipers while he was talking. That was pretty funny. That was quality content back in the day, folks. You don't get that on wrestling anymore. It's a different generation now, different time. Maybe when they move the show to Netflix, they're saying it ain't gonna be PG anymore when it goes to Netflix. Maybe then it'll be a little better. We'll see. I may give it a chance then. But I tried watching it the other day. I didn't make it through the whole show. Made it through about 15 minutes. And I thought, this sucks. I'm gonna pull up some Ultimate Warrior matches. And even though, the Ultimate Warrior, he was terrible at wrestling, but it was still entertaining at least. Maybe that's, as a kid, I was a big Ultimate Warrior fan. I wonder, maybe these kids today that are watching the current product, they see all these high-flying maneuvers and whatnot, and they're a fan of these guys like I was the Ultimate Warrior, and they don't realize how bad the wrestling is, how bad the storytelling is. Because I didn't notice it as a kid. All I saw was the Ultimate Warrior's music hit. He run down the ring with the face paint, shaking the ropes, like, that was cool when you're 8. Most of them guys are dead. I was thinking about that too. I was watching all them old matches. You'd be like, man, both them guys in that match are dead. Oh, look right here, we got another. No, he let go. Yep, he let go. Felt him pulling. Yeah, it's sad. All of them, well, not all of them, but a lot of them wrestlers died young. Either drug overdoses or heart problems from the steroids. That's one thing about them steroids, man. I don't care if you're a bodybuilder, wrestler, just some punk at the gym wanting to look a little better. You take them steroids for any length of time, and boy, you're gonna have problems later on in life. You'll look good in the short term, but it's gonna cause problems down the line. All them guys though, man, they're just rough shape. If they're still alive, most of them's in rough shape, at least from my childhood, the ones that were stars. I saw a picture of Jake the Snake Roberts. How the hell he's still alive with all the drugs and alcohol and everything he did? He'll outlive everybody. Him and Ric Flair, the two biggest partiers on the scene back in the day, will outlive all the others. But Jake the Snake, he had oxygen, nasal cannula in. I think he was on an airplane, but I guess he's wearing oxygen all the time now. Yeah, Nature Boy, he about died a few years ago, and now he's back to wheeling and dealing, styling and profiling, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, jet flying, limousine riding, son of a gun. Best wrestler of all time, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Nobody comes close. For the body of work. I never liked the Nature Boy growing up as far as like him being my favorite wrestler at any point in time growing up. But as an adult, looking back at his entire body of work over 40, 50 years, however the hell long he's been in the industry now, like you can't deny he's the best of all time. The way he could wrestle, the promo, all the different generations he went through, man, he was just... Hulk Hogan, you could argue, I mean, as far as star power, but Hulk had one match, man. He could wrestle one way. The Nate could wrestle with anybody. Yeah, him and Jake Roberts will outlive us all, though, folks. The people that abuse their bodies the most will outlive the rest of us. Let me take my glasses off here so I can kind of see where we're at on. Oh yeah, we're in the red here. We got battery's about had it here, folks. I guess I'm gonna wrap this trip up as far as fishing with y'all. Y'all going back to the ramp, I guess. Me, with it being a bite that's been pretty consistent out here all morning long, and the fact that it's comfortable temperature, I'm gonna stay out here probably another hour or so, maybe 2. The battery ain't gonna last that long in the camera. I'll get me a little off-camera time. Go through my YouTube comments, see if I can find us some more material for the next video. But woman, she's gonna be so pissed. She's gonna be so pissed off at me, and you know she watches. She's forced to. She told us she can't turn the channel. She's forced to watch me and listen to me. She's gonna be mad. She'll eventually send me a thank you card though, and one of y'all makes her an honest woman and marries her. But it's been fun out here regardless today, man. It was nice to get back out on the water. Again, I always appreciate fishing a little more when I've taken a break from it for a few days, and weather has forced me to do so. So nice to get back out here. Awesome that the goldfish stayed alive as long as they did. I'm very impressed with that. And so, yeah, hopefully bust some more fish out here in the next couple of hours. But again, if you are affected by the flooding, man, I'm sorry. It's terrible. It's terrible what you're going through. I hope you get yourself back on track. I hope everybody, even if you wasn't personally there for the flooding, it's a small world. Everybody's got friends, family all over and stuff. And so I hope you and your family and friends and everybody's safe from it. It's a terrible tragedy what has happened here in this, well, 2 hours east of here. Terrible tragedy. But anyway, y'all, as I choke up again, oh, my throat's dry. Battery's about to die. My throat's apparently about to die too here, so we'll wrap this trip up. I'll probably fish somewhere tomorrow. May hit a creek tomorrow potentially, but I've got enough bait left as of right now, unless I really burn through it here in the next couple hours. Definitely enough for us to fish tomorrow, so we'll get out there and try somewhere. So anyway, for those of you that I didn't run off today by saying God knows what to offend you, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching today.